This kid got kicked to the curb by his adoptive brother, all because he turned 18 and still hadn't awakened a profession. But it didn't stop there. That brother, Fanbin, was so ruthless, he shot a poisoned dart at Bai Kim to finish him off for good. Bai Kim had no idea he'd been poisoned, dragging his heavy feet forward. He was completely drained, racked with a gnawing pain, his strength fading fast. Is this how I die? I can't accept this. I really can't. And just like that, Bai Kim collapsed. But little did anyone know, at that exact moment, the SSS-Grade War God, humanity's strongest, Meng Xingshen, was leading his team against the great demon god. He never imagined that at the most critical moment, he'd be betrayed by his own comrades, stabbed right through the heart by his own beloved disciple. As he lay dying, Meng Xingshen used a reincarnation technique, and by a twist of fate, his soul entered the body of the dying Bai Kim. This was the ultimate switch, from betrayed trash to an OP god. Tian Feng, you just wait. I'll be back to wring the necks of every single one of you traitorous bastards. Bai Kim coughed violently. What's wrong with me? Did this body die from poison? Seems like the potent venom of a gray crystal lizard, only found in the dark zone. Is this the work of some E-rank scrub? This body is so weak because it's been poisoned for years. The internal organs are already riddled with holes. A body like this is completely useless, let alone talking about a full profession awakening. Just as he thought that, Bai Kim froze. Unable to awaken a profession? How could my soul choose such a worthless body? Adopted, then abandoned. These memories belong to a thankless, venomous snake. Is it because our lingering regrets attracted each other that my soul chose this boy? It seems this kid also died with deep resentment. Fine then. If that's the case, I, Meng Xingshen, will carry out your last wish. The soul of the real Bai Kim clasped its hands in gratitude before fading away completely. The boy's soul is gone. The reincarnation is complete. I am now truly the master of this body. But this body is so weak, there's zero chance of becoming a profession holder, never mind returning to my peak. Fulfilling this kid's wish is going to be harder than climbing to heaven. But so what if the body is weak, and the awakening rate is 1 in a million? In my past life, I was Meng Xingshen, the strongest SSS-Grade War God. Nothing is impossible for me. I've mastered countless secret techniques. There's one that can literally rebuild a physique and defy fate itself. Which one was it? After a moment, Bai Kim remembered. The Art of Nirvana, the Six Paths of Samsara. The Six Paths of Samsara is a legendary tier secret art from his time as Meng Xingshen, existing only in the mystical Voidland. If reincarnation actually worked, then the Six Paths of Samsara definitely will too. Meng Xingshen steeled his resolve. Alright, from this day forward, my name is Bai Kim, and using this name, I will return to the peak and stand on top of this world. This place, glowing with magical lights, is Dawn City. The Dawn City Stargate is located in the southern part of the planet, a world away from Sky City in the north, where Bai Kim lived in his past life. The distance is immense. This place is far from the reach of Tian Feng's influence, making it the perfect spot to secretly build up my power. Dawn City is a major hub in the southern region, and it's crawling with profession holders. Bai Kim remembered when he, as Meng Xingshen, was just like them fighting day and night in the wilderness, leveling up, dreaming of becoming a war god. Bai Kim walked up to the registration desk. I want to take the awakening trial. The man behind it just scowled and started complaining. Bai Kim, you already failed the awakening trial twice last month. Look, even though your dad was a squad captain, which gets you free attempts, with your pathetic potential, you should just give up. Trying to become a profession holder would just be a total waste of resources. But this Bai Kim wasn't the same pushover from before. Now, housing the soul of Meng Xingshen, he instantly flared up. What did you just say? Say that again to my face. This scene left the man totally stunned. You? What the hell has gotten into this kid all of a sudden? In the midst of his shock, the guard captain, Chai Ba, showed up. What's all the commotion? Upon seeing Chai Ba, the staffer immediately snapped to attention. Watching them talk, Bai Kim dug through his memories again. The Chai Ba from this body's past was saved by his parents when he was young. He owes them a life debt. Now that the Bai family has fallen on hard times, how will Chai Ba treat the son of his saviors? Will he be another snake like Fan Bin? Whatever the staffer told him, it made Chai Ba furious, and he laid into the guy. Nonsense. The Bai family has produced profession holders for generations, and they've contributed so much to our Dawn City. So what if he wants to take the awakening trial? Where's the awakening trial token? His reaction was the complete opposite of that traitor Fan Bin. After grabbing the token, Chai Ba handed it over kindly. Bai Kim, take this and go take your awakening trial. But if you fail again this time, Find somewhere safe to lay low. Don't come wandering around this area anymore. Profession. It's extremely dangerous for you, you know? Bai Kim was deeply satisfied. Turns out the old man was a man of loyalty and honor. His predecessor's father hadn't saved the wrong guy. And with that, Bai Kim confidently strode right into the awakening trial zone. He squeezed his eyes shut and stepped through. Man, this body is so weak, it can't even handle the pressure of the awakening dimension. Bai Kim struggled to hold on. No surprise, given this body has been riddled with deadly poison for years. Awakening a profession is no walk in the park. Trial candidates must resonate with a star and form a pact to awaken their profession and become an awakened. The more starlight you channel, the greater your body's transformation and the higher your future potential. But if you can't resonate with any star, you're doomed to be a normal person, living in poverty. Although a star is resonating with me, this body is too weak. It can't absorb enough starlight to form a pact, let alone awaken a profession. However, this was all part of my plan. And besides, I can still channel the starlight from this star. But even if I awaken, it won't be enough. To go from betrayed trash to OP, my comeback needs a much bigger payoff. Time to use that legendary secret art, Six Paths of Reincarnation. This technique burns my soul power to forcefully summon the Six Paths wheel, gathering infinite starlight power to completely change my soul and body, rebuilding my foundation from scratch. In my past life, I was an SSS-Grade War God. My soul power took a hit after reincarnating, but it's still more than enough for this. Bai Kim activated his soul power and began to burn it. His soul erupted, coiling around his body. He stood in the center of a magic circle that began glowing with immense power. The others, taking the trial nearby, couldn't believe their eyes. What the hell was that? Why is there a star as bright as the sun? Could it be someone is channeling infinite starlight, completely reforging their foundation? Bai Kim was ecstatic. It worked. The Six Paths of Reincarnation is truly divine. It even actively drew in the resonant star. But this is just the first step. Bring it. Bring it on. The true Starlight Flame awakening is just beginning. Only by surviving the Starflame body tempering can I awaken my profession. After so many years, feeling this again is still damn painful. But for someone like me, this is nothing. Bai Kim roared as his entire body broke through its limits. The pain suddenly vanished, and his body felt incredibly light. Is it over already? No way. The star power from the Six Paths of Reincarnation is this simple. Seeing the object forming before him, Bai Kim grinned. Now that's more like it. Let's go. Is this the third layer of the star flame? His body was engulfed by waves of yellow, blue, green, and purple light, among other colors. They symbolized the colossal stones forming around him. The Six Paths of Reincarnation corresponds to a six-layered star flame. An awakening trial like this is completely unheard of. It's insanely dangerous. But so what? In my past life, to become the strongest war god, every step I took was through hell and back. This is nothing. I will use this six-layered star flame to forge my body anew and be reborn from the ashes, a true nirvanic return. Bai Kim was now undergoing a complete metamorphosis. He sat cross-legged in meditation, focusing 100%. As the outer shell shattered, the poison inside Bai Kim's body vanished and he was fully restored. Awesome. It worked. Every last trace of the deadly poison has been purged. The Six Paths of Reincarnation is truly a legendary technique, capable of defying the heavens and changing one's fate. Profession Awakening Trial, complete. So, what did I awaken as? After opening his eyes, Bai Kim was completely floored. After awakening, a person's body is strengthened based on their specific profession. A warrior gains a powerful physique, an assassin gets agile footwork, a mage gets a sharper mind, a marksman gets eagle eyes, a knight gets unwavering faith, and a summoner gets a chaotic presence. Bai Kim wasn't just shocked, he was absolutely mind-blown. What? I simultaneously gained the unique enhancements of all six major professions? Is this the power of the legendary Six Paths of Reincarnation? In my past life, I was the strongest SSS-Grade War God, and even I had only heard rumors of people who could dual class. But in this body, I've achieved a full profession awakening. With a foundation like this, my future achievements will definitely surpass my past life. Tian Feng, and all you traitors, just you wait. I promise you, that day isn't far off. Looking around, the spiritual space began to fade. It seemed the awakening trial was finally ending. Bai Kim knew it was time to go, but the second he stepped out, he ran right into that scumbag, Pham Ban, who was standing there ready to mock him. Bai Kim, you actually came to the Stargate for the awakening trial again? A piece of trash like you is just a waste of resources. I already warned you to stay rotting in the slums. You might have lived a little longer that way, but you just don't listen. Bai Kim didn't waste his breath, replying with a single ice-cold word, get lost. Pham Ban. He was completely stunned. After a few seconds of shock, he started screaming again. Bai Kim, you never dared to speak to me like that before. He looked at Bai Kim, breaking out in a cold sweat. This brat was clearly poisoned by the gray crystal lizard. Why isn't he dead yet? Well, in that case, I'll just finish him off again. With that thought, Pham Ban grabbed his weapon and charged straight at Bai Kim. Bai Kim, you worthless trash. You won't even listen to your adopted brother. Today, I'll teach you a lesson in place of your parents. Just as he lunged, Bai Kim dodged in a flash. Pham Ban activated his bronze tier talent, along with the skills Snake Strike and Swiftness. He roared, Bai Kim, don't blame me for not holding back. Seeing this, Bai Kim thought to himself, a bronze tier talent, Swiftness, an E-rank thief skill, plus Snake Strike. He's really going for the kill. But a thief launching a frontal assault instead of a sneak attack from the shadows? In my past life, I was an SSS-Grade War God. This kind of attack, which completely abandons his class advantage, is full of openings to me. Plus, I have the enhanced body from a full profession awakening of all 6 major classes. Even if I'm a few levels lower, I can still take him down in a flash. While Pham Ban was on the attack, Bai Kim threw a single punch that snapped him back to reality. Just one punch sent Pham Ban flying. The crowd watching this scene was absolutely shocked and stunned. What the hell is going on? Did that piece of trash Bai Kim just send Pham Ban, an E-rank thief, flying with one blow? After hitting the ground hard, Pham Ban was just as baffled. He sent me flying with one hit? How is that possible? How could this kid possibly hit me? It must have been a fluke. As for Bai Kim, he remained in his fighting stance, thinking, after all, I've only just awakened my profession. I still haven't acquired any learned skills or talents yet. Just being able to lightly injure this ungrateful bastard is already pretty good. If I really want to beat him, my current abilities aren't enough. In the heat of the moment, the appearance of Chai Ba was like a saving grace. Pham Ban, are you publicly assaulting a newcomer who just passed the awakening trial in Jingmen Square? You want to go to jail? Hearing this, he retorted in disbelief. Chai Ba, this kid has applied for the free awakening trial multiple times over the past few months, and you still approved it? You abuse your power like this, covering for a failure who can't even awaken. You really deserve to be fired. Chai Ba calmly but firmly put him in his place. Whether I'm abusing my power to cover for Bai Kim is not for you to decide. As for whether Bai Kim can awaken a profession, anyone who isn't blind can see the truth. Whispers started to ripple through the crowd. That last blow from Bai Kim was powerful. That's not something a normal person can do. Yeah, Pham Ban is an E-rank thief, and his face is already bleeding. That kid Bai Kim just blocked an attack from an E-rank thief. Although, to be fair, when it comes to frontal attacks, thieves aren't really considered strong. Pham Ban could only growl in frustration. Impossible. I've been poisoning his body for years, turning him into a cripple. Add to that the lethal poison from the gray crystal lizard not long ago. How could such a weak body possibly awaken a talent? Absolutely impossible. To prove his point, Chai Ba shoved a token right in Pham Ban's face. On it was written, Bai Kim, awakened profession, warrior. The crowd erupted in discussion again, so he awakened the warrior profession. That explosive punch earlier makes sense now. They turned to mock Pham Ban. This Pham Ban kid is such an idiot. He's a thief, but he threw away his class advantage to fight a warrior head-on. Is he really a warrior? When my young master awakened the warrior profession, he definitely wasn't this strong. Hearing this, Bai Kim could only laugh to himself. A full profession awakening of 6 classes at once is just too world-shaking. If this gets out and some powerful expert takes notice of me, I'll be in big trouble. Good thing I have the aura concealment technique from my past life. By using my soul power, I can suppress my aura, revealing only the warrior profession. While he was lost in thought, Chai Ba came over and patted his shoulder in praise. Bai Kim, well done. You've awakened the warrior profession. You truly haven't let your parents down. Now that you've awakened, hurry to the Warriors Guild to study and train hard. Try to obtain the accompanying talent and become a true professional. You've already wasted too much time, so you can't delay any longer. Holding the card in his hand, Bai Kim expressed his gratitude. I understand. I have to make the most of my time. Uncle Chai, let me ask something. What day is the monthly talent assessment held on? Chai Ba replied with a start. It's today. See that line of armored vehicles over there? That's the team preparing to head out of the city for the talent assessment. Why do you ask? Don't tell me you want to participate in the talent assessment right now. Bai Kim answered firmly. That's right, Uncle Chai, you guessed it. The older man looked displeased. Are you crazy? You have to know, you only get one chance at the talent assessment. You finally managed to awaken, and you're going to waste this opportunity? You think it's that simple? Uncle Snake explained. That's because, after a normal person awakens their profession, they're initially just called an apprentice professional. An apprentice has to study at the guild for 1 to 3 years, practicing the basic secret arts. Only after gaining enough professional knowledge can they apply for the innate talent trial. And only by passing it can they obtain their own unique talent. That's the only way to become a true professional, Uncle Snake told Bai Jin with a serious voice. An innate talent is a passive skill, and every professional can only acquire one in their entire lifetime. The quality of that talent can determine a professional's entire future. Being fully prepared and performing exceptionally in the trial is the key to obtaining a high-quality talent. If you've made up your mind, then Bai Jin, you must be careful. Bai Jin beamed. Don't worry, Uncle Snake. I'm more than confident enough to promise you that. With that, Bai Jin headed towards the vehicle, ready to depart. Fan Bin stood right behind him, already plotting something vile. That little brat just awakened his profession, and he already wants to take the innate talent trial? What an ignorant fool. Still, if that kid stays alive, he's a threat. I have to figure out a way to eliminate him. As Bai Jin walked, he could feel the disgusting, evil vibes coming from behind him. I wonder what wicked scheme that backstabbing traitor is cooking up now. Just wait until I get my innate talent and become a real professional. An E-rank thief like you, I'll squash you like a bug. This city is safe because it's bathed in a glorious light. But outside the walls, monsters are everywhere. These vicious monsters crave human souls. A lone monster fears the starlight and won't dare approach the city. But when enough monsters gather around the city, their collective craving for souls will overpower their fear. And that's when a catastrophic city assault begins. Throughout history, countless cities have had their stargates breached and been annihilated by monsters. The starlight dimmed, and countless humans became monster food. Therefore, whenever a catastrophe occurs, countless professionals will rise up to fight the monsters and protect the city. It is in wars like these that professional after professional has sacrificed their lives, becoming martyrs to protect humanity. Each martyr, with their indomitable will, summons the light of the Stargate. Under this eternal curtain of starlight, countless tombstones coalesce, their starlight warping space to form a special secret realm called the Land of Starlight's Legacy. All newly awakened professionals will participate in their trials here. To pursue the glory of their ancestors, and under the watch of their ancestors' will, they will forge their own innate talents. The vehicle began to move. While everyone else was yawning and dozing off, Bai Jin stayed awake, studying and reading a book. A sorcerer's sharp mind is really useful. I'm already almost finished with this thick book. The monsters around Dawn City are mainly from the undead system. The trials of the heroic spirits in this land of Starlight's legacy probably lean towards that type of monster. Although the tests are different, the overall rules of the land of Starlight's legacy are the same in all major cities. In my past life, I came from an ordinary family with no powerful elders to back me up. Getting a gold grade innate talent was already a miracle. A gold grade talent is 1 in 10,000. A silver grade talent, 1 in 1,000. A bronze grade talent, 1 in 100. An iron grade talent, 1 in 10. A worthless talent is the fate for the vast majority of trial takers. And then there's the 1 in 100,000, or even 1 in a million, person who gets an epic grade talent. Bai Jin wasn't aiming for something ordinary. This life, he was aiming for that epic grade talent. This gloomy place was the land of Starlight's legacy. The moment Bai Jin appeared, people started pointing and whispering, while he just kept his nose in a book, not giving a damn. Isn't that Bai Jin? He finally awakened a profession? Thanks to his parents' merits, he got to take the awakening trial for free so many times each year. Even a pig could have awakened by now. Why is he reading a book here? Did awakening mess with his head or something? Let them laugh. I'll just do my own thing, Bai Jin thought to himself. These people became apprentices and studied at the guilds for 3 years. Yet they're still this clueless? I guess it makes sense. The major guilds only publicize basic knowledge. The really valuable information only circulates among high-level professionals. They have no idea that the most important things for the trial in the land of Starlight's legacy aren't strength, but wisdom, will, and courage. That woman with the two guys who look like demons behind her is Lin Shi of the Lin family. She's known as a top-tier genius who awakened her profession at the age of 11. Seeing Lin Shi appear, the crowd changed the subject. What's going on? She awakened her profession 5 years ago. Why didn't she take the innate talent trial sooner and is taking it with us now? Yeah, for real. Whatever. The world of a genius is beyond our understanding. The platinum-haired guy glanced over, sizing up Bai Fumei. Her aura wasn't strong. Not much better than a regular profession, holders, but her soul was incredibly dense. The skinny man standing there holding a bow and arrow is Shi Gong, 34 years old, a high-ranking officer of Dawn City's Archer Guild, C rank in power, the man with the massive greatsword standing. Right beside him is Duan Jia, 36, a high-ranking officer of Dawn City's Warrior Guild, also C rank. Looking down from their mall perch, they had already assessed a few of the candidates. I heard this Ming Zhu girl, awakened as an archer at 11, with so many years of preparation. Her gains from this assessment are bound to be huge. Your Archer Guild really hit the jackpot. Hearing this, Ming Zhu's ego swelled up. Oh, you're too kind. The talent assessment all comes down to fate. It's too early to say these things now. Duanjia nodded in agreement. That's right. The innate talent you get depends on destiny. If you're unlucky, ending up with a black iron grade talent isn't out of the question. Hearing that, Mingzhu's attitude completely flipped, firing back. Duanjia, you meathead warrior. What kind of jinx are you spouting? A jinx? What I'm saying is the truth. It's not like this hasn't happened before. The people standing behind them felt a headache coming on. These two idiots are at it again. Stop wasting time and let's get the assessment started. The person in the middle spoke up. Is everyone here? We don't need to re-explain the talent assessment. I trust you all have done your research. Before entering the land of Starlight's gift, let us pay our respects to the heroic spirits of the predecessors who rest here. It was their courage and sacrifice that allowed us humans to survive and reproduce in a world overrun with monsters. Today, you all, who are lucky enough to become profession holders, will inherit their will and fight for the future of humanity. In this land of Starlight's gift, danger exists. This will be the first battle for you to officially become profession holders. If you can't handle it, it means you'll lose your life. The land of Starlight's gift is only open for one day, so seize this opportunity. What innate talent you can obtain will depend entirely on you. The gate began to open, and the assessment began. Everyone lined up and walked inside. Bai Kim didn't change his posture at all, reading his book as he walked. The others started mocking him again. This guy's a total idiot. Is he still reading? Walking into the well, land of Starlight's gift, with zero prep, is just asking for death, isn't it? Suddenly, a guy with a mushroom haircut popped up right in front of him and yelled, "Hey, kid, I recognize you. Aren't you that famous piece of trash, Bai Kim? If you want to read, go to a school." Bai Kim didn't answer, just shot him a glare. After being snubbed, the mushroom head got pissed and stared back. What's your problem? You looking for a beating? Get the hell home. Bai Kim, still glued to his book, replied, "Fatty, you should be more concerned about your own situation." Hearing that, he immediately flew off the handle. What? A piece of trash like you dares to call me fat? But before he could start anything with Bai Kim, he was pulled into the heroic spirit trial. All around him, a swarm of monsters charged in to teen attack. Clearly, the dude was totally unprepared. They were demon-faced spiders, F-rank monsters. The people outside who hadn't entered yet grew anxious. We aren't even official profession holders yet. How are we supposed to deal with monsters like that? He was too busy, picking fights with others. Now, having failed the heroic spirit trial, the fatty was completely wiped out. A circle appeared over the mushroom-headed fatty's head. Everyone, look! A faint white talent rune. Damn. He failed the trial and automatically condensed a worthless, unranked innate talent. This fatty's life is hopeless now. Some of the other candidates passed the assessment and obtained bronze-grade talents. They looked extremely satisfied, laughing their heads off. One by one, the others entered the assessment, while Bai Kim just kept on reading. This is the heroic spirit trial of the land of Starlight's gift. Passing it allows you to gain a gift from a predecessor's heroic spirit, powered by Starlight, granting you a graded innate talent. Failing means you only get a worthless, unranked innate talent. Lu Shi suddenly noticed Bai Kim and asked, Are you still planning to go deeper? Deeper inside the land of Starlight's gift, although you might get a talent above bronze grade, the trials from the heroic. Spirits are also far more terrifying. The further you go, the more life-threatening it becomes. Hey candidate, if you want to go deeper, you should really reconsider. Bai Kim didn't take his eyes off the book and replied nonchalantly, thanks for the advice. Let me warn you a little, too. If you want to pass the heroic spirit trial, relying on external help is impossible. The two guys behind her immediately bristled. External help? Is he talking about us? To prevent any accidents, the family prepared an E-rank puppet. Even official, profession holders can't easily detect it. How could a mere trainee possibly know? If the Brinks brand, Legends of Dawn City's fallen heroes are recorded correctly, the Great Sword Warrior, a silver grade, heroic spirit, should be around here. I've come this far, and it still hasn't appeared. Bai Kim felt a bit uneasy. Just as he thought that, speak of the devil, a flash of light shot past, and luckily, Bai Kim dodged in time. That was the light of the heroic spirit shining down. My apologies. My goal this time is to get my hands on an epic grade innate talent. Bai Kim could tell at a glance that this silver grade heroic spirit had probably sensed his soul was different from the others. As expected, a powerful soul easily attracts the attention of heroic spirits. I've already wasted too much time. The talent assessment only has 1 day left, so I have to make every second count. In these Starlight gifting grounds, aside from the twinkling lights, everything else is pitch black. There's no north, south, east, or west, making it incredibly easy to get lost. Luckily, the records in that heroic spirit's book can be used as coordinates, allowing me to find the fastest path. The coordinates of this great sword warrior are locked in, deduced from the Legends of Dawn City's fallen heroes. The path to the right should lead to the deepest part of the Starlight gifting grounds. And just like that, Bai Kim leaped forward to move faster and dodge obstacles along the way. He caught the attention of many heroic spirits, but the young man turned them all down, pushing deeper into the forest. Bai Kim sighed. To be able to attract the attention of so many heroic spirits along the way, looks like my odds of snagging an epic grade talent are much higher now. Suddenly, he heard a noise and glanced back, shaking his head. What an idiot. I already warned her about this. Meanwhile, Lam Q was completely bewildered. What's happening? Why is the Lin family's ancestral spirit so angry? A volley of arrows rained down, forming the skeletons of E-rank hounds. They then evolved into 3 E-rank monsters. Lam Kui understood this wasn't a spiritual test at all. Her ancestor was doing this on purpose. It seemed he wanted to punish her. While fighting, she yelled out clearly, "Ancestral spirit of the Lin family, I am your descendant. Why? Are you trying to kill your own kin? If I have offended you in some way, please tell me." The spirit didn't elaborate, merely replying with a single word, "Unworthy." That one word, "unworthy," was repeated again and again, as the attacks grew even more relentless. Facing the monster head-on, Lam Q managed to destroy one with a single, decisive arrow. Grandpa always said my talent was second to none, that I was the hope for the Lin family's revival. So why is our ancestor so furious, constantly calling me unworthy? Something has to be wrong here. Lam Q felt unjustly treated and confused, tears welling up in her eyes. The spirit didn't care, drawing another arrow. "Unworthy, get out." Lam Kui desperately asked, "What exactly did I do wrong? Please, ancestor, tell me." Watching from the sidelines, Bai Kim understood the situation perfectly. "You Lin, family girl, you still don't know what you did wrong?" Hearing his voice, Lam Ku looked over, completely stunned. "You, why are you here?" The moment the spirit saw Bai Kim, it froze and hesitated. Lam Ku, however, looked straight at Bai Kim and declared, "After my awakening at 11, I haven't slacked off for a single moment these past 5 years. I've trained relentlessly, enduring hardships that normal people could never handle, honing my own soul to the absolute limit that a professional trainee can bear. Before coming here for this trial, I risked my life training just like that, all because I wanted to earn the recognition of my ancestor. I am the most outstanding genius the Lin family has seen in 100 years, and also its most promising archer. I gave it my absolute all just to get here. Today, facing my ancestor, even if I die, I will fire this arrow in my hand." In that moment, Lam Kui felt a change. Is this resonance with the spirit? Watching from the outside, Bai Kim smirked. Now that's more like it. In the trials of the heroic spirits, the most important thing isn't strength, it's willpower and courage. You bringing those 2 guardian puppets here, isn't just cheating, it's a sign that you're too weak. Lam Q finally understood Bai Kim's earlier warning. So that's what he meant. Just who is this guy? Someone this knowledgeable shouldn't be a nobody in Dawn City. And just like that, Lam Qa's trial was passed. Panting heavily, she stood in shock. Finally, I finally obtained the innate talent bestowed by my ancestor. Witnessing this, Bai Kim was happy for her. Not bad. She got a gold grade innate talent. I guess I can look forward to this little girl's future. After everything was over, Lam Kui didn't forget to thank Bai Kim. He just continued his warning. Now that you've got your innate talent, you should get out of here quickly. The heroic spirits won't harm their descendants, but over time, some of them can become warped, corrupted. If you run into one of those terrifying evil spirits, you'll be in some serious danger. Lam Q blushed and looked back. I will, but why are you here? This is the area where the gold-grade heroic spirits gather. The young man was blunt. Obviously, I'm here to get a better innate talent. Lam Q's heart skipped a beat. You also want to get a gold-grade talent? Is that even possible? But among all the trainee professionals, the aura on you is really weak. Bai Kim glanced back and replied coolly, what would you know? Just keep this a secret for me. Don't tell anyone I was here, model. I just have to get outside. Every word from Bai Jin made Lin Shi curious. Is this guy always so high and mighty? This was already the golden zone, and he still wanted to go deeper? No way. Was he planning to enter the very heart of the land of Starlight's endowment? Bai Jin pushed forward, finally reaching the deepest part of the trial grounds. He looked at the gate before him, bound by golden chains, wondering if it was a projection of the legendary gates of hell. The coordinates from Dawn City's list of martyrs were spot on. The route was perfect. Just then, the silhouette of a beast shimmered before the gate. Sensing an intruder, it let out a roar. The immense pressure made Bai Jin's legs go weak. He almost buckled. Feeling this level of spiritual pressure, this guardian beast's power had to be at least D rank. Cold sweat poured down his face. The gap in their spirit power was just too massive. The guardian beast wasn't even attacking, but the sheer force of its spirit, pressure radiating from a distance, was almost too much for his body to handle. An F rank spirit power is from 100 to 399 points. E rank is from 400 to 699. And a D rank like this beast is from 700 to 999. And this beast was a high-level D rank, meaning its spirit power was definitely over 900, while Bai Jin's was still below F rank. Although the Starlight Endowment trial isn't entirely about raw strength, if your body can't even endure the pressure, then so-called experience, wisdom, and courage are all meaningless. Bai Jin sensed the dense spirit energy all around him. He spread his arms wide. The concentration of spirit energy here was several times that of the outside world. This was the perfect place to level up. The trial had only been going for a few hours. He still had some time, and he had to power up fast. Saying that, Bai Jin immediately sat cross-legged and began to cultivate the exclusive secret art from his past life, the immeasurable Qigong. The immeasurable Qigong was an epic-grade secret technique, a stroke of fortune he'd obtained during a dangerous adventure in his past life. There was a reason he'd achieved so much back then, and this secret art was absolutely essential. The spirit disc that normally only gathered in his palms had now formed a full-blown array, thanks to the dense spirit energy. His absorption speed was double what it was the first time he cultivated in his past life. Could it be because he had simultaneously awakened all 6 major professional physiques? That would explain such a drastic change in his absorption rate. Plus, with the rich spirit energy here, he could absorb it without limit. At this rate, 1 day of cultivation for Bai Jin was probably equal to another person's entire year. His spirit power climbed non-stop until it hit 99 and stopped, having reached the limit for a trainee professional. Until he obtained an innate talent, he couldn't become a true professional, nor could his body contain any more spirit power. Still, 99 spirit points combined with his 6 times enhanced body was more than enough. After getting up and warming up his body, Bai Jin walked straight toward the D-rank demonic beast. Seeing someone approach, the beast stood up, fixing its savage eyes on Bai Jin. He recognized it as a hellhound, one of the most ferocious monsters in D-rank. They even possess bone spirit fire, which can incinerate a person's soul on contact. It's utterly terrifying. But the heroic spirits watching from within were a bit surprised, even expectant. After 100 years, had someone finally arrived to take the final test. They wanted to see how Bai Jin would handle the hellhound before making their move. Bai Jin was completely unfazed by the vicious beast. He smirked and said, "In the end, It's just a little dog carrying the remnant soul of a three-headed hellhound. The beast tried to crush Bai Jin with its rank suppression, but he just stared it down, unyielding. If this were the old him, he would have been terrified, but the current him, not a chance. Bai Jin activated his Dragon Force aura, shattering the beast's suppression. This kind of spirit-level pressure was useless against him. The dog went berserk, roaring as it charged at Bai Jin. He drew his knife and slashed, but as expected, with his current strength, he could barely scratch the monster's hide. Bai Jin leaped up to dodge the hellhound's attack while taunting it. A little pup like you is only capable of so much. The hellhound roared in a frenzy, its entire body glowing with a dangerous green aura. Bai Jin jumped back, creating some distance. It was completely enraged. The hellhound lunged with its sharp claws, flying right for Bai Jin. Its mouth gaped open, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth, ready to chomp his head clean off. And yet, Bai Jin just stood there watching it. He wasn't scared in the slightest, nor did he have any intention of dodging as the hellhound's wide mouth snapped down on him. Just as he thought it couldn't bite him, he phased right through its mouth, looking it dead in the eye. The land of Starlight's endowment is, after all, just a trial for trainee professionals. Why would they actually put a real D-rank hellhound here for a test? As Bai Jin spoke, he raised his hand and flicked the hellhound right on its face. Its body immediately shattered into pieces and slowly vanished. As a trainee professional, no matter how much stronger, so how strong could it possibly be anyway? In the trials of the Starlight Endowment grounds, raw power isn't the point. Ultimately, it's a test of wits, willpower, and courage. Besides, when Bai Jin provoked it just now, it actually got pissed. But a real hellhound is an undead creature. It shouldn't have any emotions, let alone anger. So this thing must just be an illusion projected by the Hellgate, meant to intimidate challengers and test if they have enough strength and courage to face it. The moment Bai Jin dealt with the hound, the gate before him swung open. Bai Jin strode right in without hesitation. He wondered, is this the actual path to hell? Man, this is getting exciting. The second Bai Jin stepped inside, the gate slammed shut behind him. Before him was a landscape of surrounding rock formations, and in the center was a rushing waterfall. So this is what the deepest part of the Starlight Endowment grounds looks like? It's not hell. It looks more like a ritual valley. Could there really be epic grade spirits here? While Bai Jin was still taking in the sights, a blazing red slash of sword energy shot straight for him. Bai Jin dodged in a flash, completely stunned. Holy crap, that attack was insane. An aura like that. It has to be S-grade. A barrage of sword strikes rained down on Bai Jin, forcing him to constantly evade, his mind racing in astonishment. An attack that powerful, if it landed, it would be instant death. Just then, an epic grade spirit appeared. The sword in its hand stopped just inches from Bai Jin's neck, but Bai Jin didn't even flinch, facing the senior spirit without showing a shred of weakness. He told the spirit to stop with the tests. He didn't get this far by pure luck, and he's not so clueless as to not see through this. The spirit glared at him menacingly. You're just a trainee. You dare enter this place? You dare challenge the trial of an epic grade spirit? Are you looking for death? Bai Jin was unfazed. Honorable senior spirit, I call you senior, out of respect. There's no need for these verbal tests. In a spirit trial, raw power isn't the most important factor. Otherwise, forget about a newly awakened trainee like me. Not even an A-grade grandmaster would be a match for you. Bai Jin thought to himself, this epic grade spirit seems to have all its memories from when it was alive. Much stronger than a gold grade one. You've got a silver tongue, kid. You think just getting in here means you can pass the trial of an epic grade spirit. You're too naive. Let me show you just how terrifying our trials really are. As the spirit spoke, the space around them warped. Bai Jin saw a golden aura envelop his body. Then, an arena-like space materialized around him, taking him by surprise. Did this senior spirit just teleport me to a battleground? Not only that, Bai Jin noticed his spiritual power was now at 400 points. Wait, I've been boosted to E-grade? Meanwhile, outside this conscious space, the other senior spirits were absolutely furious. That bastard Lin Wei, he was just buttering us up, saying we'd deal with the kid once he was inside. And then the moment we weren't looking, he snuck over and pulled the kid into an illusionary trial first. What a lowlife. That Lin Wei was known as the S-Grade War God when he was alive. I bet he used cheap tricks like this to get his title. This is the first successor to arrive in 100 years, but for a mere trainee, the difficulty of an epic grade trial is way too high. Plus, they had no idea Bai Jin was packing the power of a full profession awakening, with the physique of 6 classes combined. He's a truly peerless genius. One of them wondered aloud. You think Lin Wei will go easy on him to let this Bai Jin kid pass the trial? But another disagreed. Lin Wei wouldn't dare. The rules of the trial cannot be broken. Besides, if anyone's going to go easy on him, it should be one of us. Back inside the illusionary trial, Bai Jin was amazed that an epic grade spirit had this kind of power, the ability to pull a challenger's consciousness into an illusionary realm to fight. Just then, the senior spirit tossed his sword aside and told Bai Jin, "Come. In this illusionary trial, both our power levels will be set to E grade. On this even playing field, if you can make me take a single step back, you pass the trial." Bai Jin's expression hardened, his gaze sharpening as he looked at the senior before him. "Same power level, and you won't even use a weapon against me. You think the combat experience you had as an S-grade war god is enough to beat me easily?" Without another word, Bai Jin shot forward towards the spirit, taking him completely by surprise. This level of swordsmanship, this is absolutely not something a trainee should be able to do. Hundreds of sword slashes erupted from Bai Jin, forcing the spirit to scramble and defend. This overwhelming barrage. Even with a weapon in hand, he'd struggle to block it. What's more, before he could even react, Bai Jin's sword was already at his throat. The spirit panicked. "Crap, I can't dodge this." Bai Jin's blade was already resting on his neck, freezing him in place. He couldn't believe what just happened. In the blink of an eye, how is that possible? This kid's skills are on a whole other level, even better than mine. It feels like I'm fighting an SS-grade war god. I've never met a talent like this in my entire life. Holy crap. The shadow of Meng Xingshen loomed behind Bai Kim. Facing the senior heroic spirit, he told him to stop holding back and fight him with everything he had. The heroic spirit bowed. This time, he truly saw Bai Kim as an equal. He immediately resummoned his sword. Bai Kim leaped high again, unleashing a rain of swords to pin down the spirit, and then effortlessly knocked the sword from his hand. They went back and forth for several rounds, but the heroic spirit never managed to get the upper hand. Bai Kim sheathed his sword and said, "Senior warrior spirit, you lost." The spirit couldn't believe it, standing, frozen on the spot, but he had to nod in acceptance. He had been utterly defeated. By passing the trial perfectly, this achievement should be enough to earn an epic grade innate talent. This means my starting point in this life is way higher than my last one. While Bai Kim was lost in thought, the senior heroic spirit vanished in the blink of an eye. Bai Kim panicked. He hadn't gotten his talent yet. Did he go too hard and completely crush the warrior spirit, making him go from embarrassed to pissed off enough to not give him the reward? No way an epic grade heroic spirit is that petty, right? Outside, the flickering purple figures began to gossip when they saw the spirit emerge. The trial is over already? Did Lin Wei not give him the talent? Does that mean the kid failed? They looked down and saw Bai Kim still sitting cross-legged, completely motionless. They wondered, his consciousness hasn't returned yet? Is he still in the illusionary arena? They asked Lin Wei why he hadn't closed the trial grounds. Lin Wei declared boldly, "I lost." The other heroic spirits were stunned. He was defeated by a mere trainee? You've got to be kidding. Even with his power suppressed to E rank, that should be impossible. They asked if Lin Wei had thrown the fight, but Lin Wei shook his head, saying he didn't hold back at all. He was completely beaten. This kid's talent was far beyond their expectations, and because of that, he told them he had a plan. After he explained it, everyone thought his idea was insane. But with a prodigy this exceptional, the plan might just be worth a shot. However, Lin Wei's assessment alone wasn't enough. One of them made a suggestion to make the plan even crazier. While Bai Kim was still dazed inside the illusion, 6 purple beams of light appeared. He was a bit surprised. What the hell is this now? The epic grade heroic spirits of the 6 major classes had all appeared at once. Who knew that? The deepest part of Dawn City's Starlight Bestowal grounds housed the epic grade spirits of every single profession? Just what kind of brutal war happened here? An elderly heroic spirit nodded in praise. To face the pressure of all 6 of them, the epic grade spirits of the 6 major classes, without showing a hint of fear. This kid's next move was something he was really looking forward to. Stroking his beard, he said to Bai Kim, "Young man, you have defeated Lin Wei and earned our recognition. Seeing the extraordinary talent you've shown, we want to invite you to a much harder trial. At the same power level, you will fight all 6 of us, epic grade heroic spirits at the same time. If you can achieve victory, We will all bestow upon you our epic grade talents. But if you lose, you get absolutely nothing. Bai Kim asked in shock. If I win, I can get the epic grade talents of all 6 major classes simultaneously? Before he could even finish, the old spirit cut in, telling him to think it over carefully. He could also just walk away now with the epic talent of the warrior class. Another spirit chimed in tauntingly. Look at him. He's probably scared stiff already. Forget it. Let's just call off the invitation. I was hoping for a little excitement for once. These long, boring years are really getting to me. But contrary to what they expected, Bai Kim just threw his head back and laughed. How interesting. This is awesome. He understood what the senior spirits were getting at. A challenge to fight beyond all limits, huh? He could feel their history of fighting endless monster hordes, determined to carve out a brighter future. So, he accepted the challenge. As he spoke, Bai Kim raised his sword. Bring it on. The heroic spirits were thrilled. Such arrogant confidence. They all loved that badass attitude of his. The battle began, and everyone got into a fighting stance. They didn't forget to remind Bai Kim to be careful. Looking at the spirits before him, Bai Kim thought, all 6-century-old heroic spirits are here. They know each other so well, their teamwork must be flawless. I have to shatter their coordination first. First up, take out the biggest threat, the one lurking in the shadows. The rogue. The rogue spirit had already appeared behind Bai Kim at some point. He thought to himself, let's give this kid a hard time. However, using the hearing and sight of a marksman to pinpoint his location, Bai Kim easily detected the assassin hiding behind him. He swung his sword backward, meeting the rogue head-on. But that's a tough matchup for a warrior. The rogue heroic spirit didn't even know what hit him before one of Bai Kim's slashes sent him flying. Epic grade rogue spirit, down. The remaining heroic spirits were, needless to say, completely stunned. Taken out in one hit? Were they really gonna let this kid win? The heroic spirits finally got serious, launching an all-out, simultaneous assault on Bai Kim, telling him not to get too cocky. They were serious now, but what they didn't know was that Bai Kim held all 6 professions inside him. The elusiveness of a rogue, the fluidity of an assassin, it felt effortless. Then there was the sharp mind of a mage, granting him pinpoint judgment, plus the magic-resistant physique of a knight. While the mage heroic spirit was still reeling, stunned that his Thunderstrike's paralysis effect did nothing, Bai Kim was already in his face. A mage caught in close quarters with a warrior is like glass. With a single strike, the epic grade mage spirit was shattered. Just then, several green arrows shot out from the archer heroic spirit. But against a warrior's tough physique, the arrows did absolutely nothing to Bai Kim. Not only that, with just one light collision, the epic grade archer spirit was out. Now, only 3 heroic spirits were left. They were furious, unable to keep up with Bai Kim's speed. The summoner spirit yelled to the knight in front of her, "Hold him down. I'll summon a giant bear to crush him." In an instant, a colossal bear appeared before Bai Kim, just as he was snared by the night spirit's trapping circles. Bai Kim gritted his teeth, unable to move. As the bear's massive paw was about to slam down on his face, he suddenly ordered it to stop. Tapping into his summoner powers, he used the Summoned Beast Affinity skill. The bear immediately turned, obediently following Bai Kim's command, and swung its giant paw right at the knight heroic spirit. While the knight was still trying to figure out what the hell was going on, he was defeated. Nearby, the female spirit was in a state of utter shock, completely baffled as to why. She could no longer control her giant bear. Bai Kim closed in on her, a summoner who's lost her protection. You think you can still turn the tables? And just like that, the epic grade summoner spirit was gone, too. Now, only Lin Wei remained. Bai Kim walked up to him. Too slow. Your teammates have all been dealt with. You still want to go? The spirit immediately shook his head. No more. You win. He didn't want to get brutalized one-on-one. At that moment, the other 5 spirits rose and walked over. The elder spirit spoke up. You are a true genius. You have passed the trial of the 6 great epic grade heroic spirits. Your physique, your will, and your combat talent far surpass any apprentice, profession holder, and that includes any of us when we were alive. Now, receive our gifts. All 6 heroic spirits simultaneously bestowed their talents upon Bai Kim. He gladly accepted. And just like that, he possessed the epic grade talents of all 6 major professions. He just wasn't sure if these talents could actually coexist inside a single person. But as the 6 talents entered his body, Bai Kim discovered the 6 talents were starting to fuse into one. 6 epic grade talents merging, and the aura they were emitting far surpassed the epic level. It was on a completely different tier. A multicolored light erupted from Bai Kim's body, leaving all 6 senior spirits completely in awe. A talent above epic grade. What kind of level was that? Bai Kim's face was drenched in sweat, his expression strained. The fusion was struggling to complete its final step, and was on the verge of collapsing. Bai Kim clenched his jaw in determination. Just a little more. I absolutely cannot fail. Bai Kim focused, using the divine mirror of fate's name. Channeling the mythic light incantation, a giant, golden figure appeared, as if pouring power directly into him. A green light radiated from his heart, illuminating the entire space. Profession holders are born with talents of different grades: black iron, bronze, silver. For the vast majority, gold grade is already considered the absolute peak. As for epic grade, that's the stuff of legends, something ordinary people have never even heard of. No one had ever imagined that a talent even stronger than epic could exist. Bai Kim had successfully fused the talents. His talent was now mythic grade, a level no one in history had ever achieved. The mythic grade talent, Heart of the Brave, with all profession compatibility. The heart of the brave grows stronger the more you fight. By defeating enemies, you can absorb their life essence, restoring your stamina and increasing your power. It drives you ever forward, and in a desperate pinch, you can burn your own lifeblood and soul to unleash a tenfold burst of your maximum combat power. The souls of the senior heroic spirits began to fade, looking at Bai Kim with immense satisfaction. To think a talent stronger than epic actually existed, they had witnessed a miracle. After waiting for so many years, they had finally found a worthy successor. They could now pass on with no regrets. They all hoped that in the future, Bai Kim could bring a new dawn to Liming City and to the entire world. Their souls faded away. As Bai Jin poured one out for his fallen comrades, he vowed to fulfill their dying wish, the start of his path from betrayed trash to OP. Meanwhile, outside the land of starburst gifts, Lin Shi emerges to the admiration of everyone, unaware that a future SSS-Grade War God has just been born through a full profession awakening. A golden aura radiates from her body, the sign of a companion, talent. That's the power of the Lin family for you, easily acquiring a gold grade talent. Meanwhile, most people struggle like hell just to get a bronze grade talent. That's the insane gap between them and a true genius. Xie Gong roared with laughter, as expected of the Lin family's #1 prodigy, securing a gold grade companion talent. Truly outstanding. Flustered by the praise, Lin Shi blushed, telling Xie Gong she wasn't that amazing. Xie Gong shot a smug look at Duan Cha, sneering that Lin Shi was just being too humble. A gold-grade talent only appears in Dawn City once a decade, unlike a certain someone from the Warrior Guild, who was all talk before the assessment. Pissed off, Duan Cha pointed a finger right in his face and yelled, "Xie Gong, what are you so damn proud of? Your Archer Guild just got lucky. The tables will turn. The Warrior Guild will get its own gold-grade genius eventually." Xie Gong just scoffed, saying he'd be waiting. Watching the two men posture like fighting cocks, Lin Shi just shook her head. There they go again. She scanned the crowd, looking for Bai Jin. Where is that boy? Don't tell me he's still inside the land of starburst gifts? Just then, Xie Gong stood before the portal and announced, "The gate is closing. Time's up. I hereby declare this assessment over." Before he could even finish his sentence, Lin Shi cut him off. "Wait, time isn't up yet. Someone might still be inside." Xie Gong turned back. If they aren't back by now, they've probably failed. But right then, a figure emerged, stunning everyone. Holy crap, someone actually made it out at the last second. Wait a minute, isn't that the loser, Bai Jin? That punk's only coming out now? He must have hidden somewhere, too scared to face the heroic spirit trial. Watching him, Lin Shi felt a faint blush. So, his name is Bai Jin. Bai Jin shot a cold glance at the mocking crowd. Bunch of frogs in a well. Duan Cha walked over to Bai Jin. "What grade of talent did you get in the assessment?" But Bai Jin didn't even need to answer. A brilliant light erupted from his body, leaving the guildmaster speechless. That dazzling glow. It was a gold-grade talent. Oh my god, 2 gold-grade talents in a single assessment. Bai Jin smirked. "My Heart of the Brave is actually a mythic-grade talent. It can freely mimic the aura of any talent I want. Displaying a gold-grade aura is already on par with my past life. This should be enough to get the Warrior Guild's attention, making things easier for me later." Bai Jin then turned to the idiots beside him. "Instead of mocking others, maybe you should figure out how to level up your own pathetic asses." The group that had just been laughing was now trembling and sweating bullets. They had just pissed off a future powerhouse of Dawn City. Lin Shi watched Bai Jin from a distance. She didn't believe for a second he only got a gold-grade companion, talent. After all, he had ventured into the deepest, most dangerous part of the land of starburst gifts. The talent gained there had to be far superior. As if reading her mind, Bai Jin raised a finger to his lips, signaling her to keep his secret. Lin Shi couldn't help but blush. This guy was a total mystery. What in the world actually happened in the depths of that place? Duan Cha was staring at Bai Jin like a priceless treasure, giving him the creeps. "Hey, Beardy," Bai Jin snapped. "Had enough of an eyeful? So, I guess this means I passed the assessment?" Duan Cha immediately straightened up, putting on a serious face. "Show some respect, kid. How dare you call me Beardy?" But his act dropped instantly, replaced by a massive grin. "You did damn good, kid. As expected of the genius from the Warrior Guild, we've been carefully nurturing all this time." Everyone nearby was completely floored. That shameless bastard Duan. He didn't even know who the kid was a minute ago, and now he has the gall to call him a nurtured genius of the Warrior Guild? Nurtured all this time, my ass. But still, no matter how you slice it, two geniuses appeared in this assessment. Gold-grade talents. This was record-breaking news. It had to be reported to the higher-ups immediately. Back at headquarters, the news sent shockwaves through the command center. 2 gold-grade talents in this assessment? That's unbelievable. It's a new record. Everyone was dying to know who the 2 candidates were. An officer reported, "One is Lin Shi, the Lin family prodigy, no surprise there. The other is an unknown, named Bai Jin." Hearing that name, Fan Bin flinched. He gritted his teeth as veins bulged on his forehead. That bastard Bai Jin actually obtained a gold-grade talent in the assessment? How is that even possible? Back at the Dawn City Warrior Guild, the moment Duan Cha walked in with Bai Jin, the entire hall erupted in whispers. "So that's Bai Jin? One of the 2 who got a gold talent in this assessment? His future is going to be insane. And he's a total badass hunk. So young and handsome, I could just eat him up." Being the center of attention made Bai Jin a bit uncomfortable. He'd seriously underestimated his own influence. This must be the perk of having a gold rank talent. Just then, the guild manager handed Bai Kim a card, telling him the registration was complete. Duan Jia said, "From now on, you're an official warrior class professional. On behalf of the Liming City Warriors Guild, welcome." He then told Bai Kim to follow him. "A genius like you deserves a special reward from the association." Bai Kim followed, thinking happily, "Looks like the professional guild really knows how to treat a top-tier talent." Duan Jia led Bai Kim to the guild's treasury manager, Chen Guan, who handed Duan Jia a box. "Here's the reward for a gold-rank talent," he said. "Go ahead and check it." Duan Jia opened it to find a skill book called Blade Fist, one of the strongest basic skills for a warrior. He praised Manager Chen for being so thoughtful, but Chen Guan simply said it's rare for their guild to get a gold-rank genius. Of course, we have to invest in them heavily. The reward also includes 10 low-grade spirit stones. Duan Jia was green with envy. The perks for a gold-rank talent are insane. I only got 1 low-grade stone back in my day. Bai Kim flipped through the book and immediately sensed that something was off with this Blade Fist manual. Chen Guan urged him, "Since you just awakened, your training efficiency will be off the charts. Why not start cultivating right now?" Bai Kim thought to himself, this guy's amusing." He then grinned, "Of course, I can't wait to start." After Chen Guan returned to his room, he found Fan Bin already waiting for him. "Well, is it done?" Fan Bin asked impatiently. Chen Guan shut the door. That sabotaged Blade Fist manual is in his hands. After a few days of practicing that, he's guaranteed to suffer a fatal internal injury. Then, you can petition the guild for a public duel. You'll be able to eliminate him in front of everyone without leaving a trace. Fan Bin smirked. "As expected of you, Brother Chen. Always so reliable. Once I crush Bai Kim and officially inherit the Bai family's fortune, I'll make it worth your while." He laughed like a madman. "Bai Kim, so what if you're a gold-rank genius? You're still going to die by my hand. Everything the Bai family has will be mine." Back in his room, Bai Kim examined the Blade Fist manual. Something's not adding up here. This is definitely not that simple. Even a C-rank warrior like Duan Jia didn't see the flaws. But there's no way they could escape my eyes. From Chen Guan's behavior, he definitely tampered with the skill. The only question is whether that punk Fan Bin is in on it too. Add to that the professional running the old extortion racket, and the mysterious disappearance of my parents. Bai Kim rubbed his chin. This is getting interesting. It seems there are some big players moving against the Bai family. Fine, I'll play their little game. Bai Kim set the Blade Fist manual on the floor. A basic skill like this? Even a corrupted version is child's play for me to reconstruct. You think this cheap trick can fool me? He decided to use their own plot against them. With Deacon Duanjia as a witness, Chen Guan wouldn't dare mess with the other reward, the 10 low-grade spirit stones. And those stones were exactly what Bai Kim needed. Spirit stones are magical crystals condensed from the power of the Stargate. They're graded as low, medium, and high. By absorbing them, professionals can rapidly level up. They're priceless treasures for cultivation. Even though I know all sorts of god-tier skills, to power up fast in this body, I have to start from square one. In my past life, I knew Blade Fist was one of the strongest basic skills for a warrior. It's a solid skill that's useful all the way to B rank. They say it's tough to master, but for me, it's nothing. Bai Kim looked at his fist. Turn the fist into an extension of the sword, an extension of the arm. The core concept is pretty badass. They just messed with a few key spiritual energy points. An easy fix. 10 low-grade spirit stones should be more than enough to master the basics. Bai Kim arranged the 10 stones in a circle around himself and began his cultivation. The stones pulsed with rich spiritual energy, which swirled and poured into Bai Kim's body. Suddenly, his training arm was hit with a wave of agony, a searing pain like his very bones were being ground to dust. Bai Kim's arm felt like it was engulfed in flames. When he finished, it was covered in severe burns. Holy crap. Blade Fist really lives up to its reputation as the strongest basic warrior skill. I guess I underestimated the difficulty. Even with my body enhanced by my full profession awakening of all 6 major classes, that first attempt still wrecked my arm. A normal person would be out of commission for months. Any other warrior would need over a year of prep time just to survive that, talent or not. But a real challenge is what I was looking for. Bai Kim's eyes blazed with resolve. He immediately resumed his cultivation. Blade Fist. Is this all you got? A menacing purple aura began to radiate from him. Energy enveloped his arm as Bai Kim summoned a sword, then swung it at the opposite wall to test its power. F-rank warrior skill, Phantom Edge Fist. The wall was instantly sliced in two. Not bad for a skill that took 10 low-grade spirit stones, and a whole day to master. Plus, once it levels up to E rank, the skill will evolve with it. Alright, finally mastered it. The young man thought to himself that it was time to head out. The moment Bai Kim opened the door, he immediately came face to face with Pham Ban, who'd been waiting outside for who knows how long. Bai Kim, you finally decided to show your face. He then shoved a piece of paper in Bai Kim's face, declaring, "This is my challenge letter." He wanted to determine through combat which of them was the rightful heir to the Bach family's fortune. He boasted, "So, what'll it be? Do you dare accept my challenge?" Bai Kim gave Pham Ban a look of utter contempt. "This kind of trash. You've got to be kidding me. I'm an awakened professional now. Inheriting my parents' estate is my right. What's there to question? What right does an ungrateful traitor like you have to fight for it?" Hearing this, the onlookers started mocking Pham Ban. They let out comments like, "Isn't that Pham Ban, the Bach family's adopted son? So he's the snake they raised. And he dares to fight Bai Kim for the inheritance? On what grounds? Yeah, and he has the nerve to cause a scene at the Warriors Guild. Let's throw him out." Pham Ban showed the paper to the crowd and explained, "Look closely. This is my challenge letter, and it bears the official stamp of the Profession Guild. This is our Bach family's private matter, so I hope you all will stay out of it." Now the crowd grew uneasy and started whispering, "How can this be? Why would the Profession Guild allow something like this? To openly seize someone else's assets? Holy crap, what is this? Those high and mighty masters, their methods are shady. Shh, watch your mouth, don't get yourself in trouble." After explaining, he provoked Bai Kim. "The Bach family villa has already been signed over to me. If you don't accept this duel, you can forget about ever getting it back." This was the house he grew up in with his parents. Hearing the challenge, he trembled with rage. Damn, it's the original owner's memories making me this angry. A clown like this shouldn't even be worth my time. The despicable Pham Ban just smirked and held out the paper, continuing to taunt Bai Kim. "Well, it's a life or death challenge. Do you have the guts to accept?" Instead of answering, he used his ability to shock him. In a flash, the paper was in Bai Kim's hand, leaving Pham Ban completely stunned, staring at his empty palm in fear. He trembled, breaking out in a cold sweat. Since when? After reading the letter, he calmly accepted. "Your challenge, I accept." He looked on, reflecting on the events that had just transpired in such a short time. Pham Ban stared at Bai Kim, sweating as he analyzed the situation. That kid, Bai Kim's speed just now, I couldn't react at all. Could it be that his golden talent awakening is related to speed? But then he remembered. He had an ace up his sleeve, and his fear subsided. Luckily, I have that high-ranking master helping me. He's already tampered with the Phantom Edge Fist manual. Once the fight gets intense, that kid's skill will malfunction, and his fate will be sealed. Famban drew his dagger, certain that Bai Kim's only fate was death. Seeing that the two were about to clash, the buzzing crowd fell silent. He activated his E-rank skill, Assassinate. A green aura of energy flared up around his body as Famban lunging forward to attack Bai Kim, but he just stood there, completely unfazed. Bai Kim barely even glanced at him, keeping his hands casually in his pockets. Meanwhile, Famban unleashes 2 more skills to attack him. He activates his Swift Pupil talent and the E-rank skill, Ambush. But Bai Kim casually blocked it with one hand, a scornful smirk on his face. This move again? Can't you come up with something new? Now, Famban was scared stiff, drenched in sweat. He stammered to himself. He blocked it. In a single move? How is that possible? I was clearly concealed. Bai Kim raised his hand to counterattack, telling him to brace himself. Now get a taste of the very skill you bastards personally chose for me. Bai Kim unleashed Phantom Edge Fist, slammed his fist into Famban and yelled, "Break!" As for Famban, he was sent flying, coughing up blood and tumbling across the ground. After rolling for some distance, he managed to stop and get back up, clutching his stomach. In pain and terror, he questioned, How are you completely unharmed? Seeing his badass move, everyone in the crowd cheered. Way to go, little brother Bai Kim. Take that Famban down. Show the Assassin's Guild how strong we are. Famban is garbage. Don't disgrace our guild. He doesn't represent the Assassin's Guild. In the crowd were Song, Tian, and Duan Zhen. Song Tian couldn't stop praising Bai Kim. That's our Warriors Guild once-in-a-decade genius for you. He mastered Phantom Edge Fist in a single day. He can even overpower an E-rank assassin head-on. But Duan Zhen was unimpressed. It's nothing special. Isn't this just the basics for a genius? Without giving Famban any time to recover or prepare, Bai Kim rushed forward again. Once in front of him, he unleashed a barrage of punches, while all Famban could do was block. After getting his fill of punches in, Bai Kim landed a heavy blow, sending Famban staggering back. Not bad, he complimented him. Not bad for a thief. You can really take a punch, Famban said smugly, lifting his shirt to show off. Didn't see that coming, did ya? I'm wearing a top-tier defensive golden armor. You're just an F-rank fighter. How could you possibly hurt me? Hearing this, the crowd erupted in jeers, mocking Famban without mercy. Holy crap, that's a dirty move. Challenging someone while wearing hidden armor, but someone else defended him. So what? If you had the cash, you'd buy one too. There's no rule against wearing defensive gear in a duel. Bai Kim looked at him with a steady gaze and declared, Famban, you got lucky last time. Today, you're dead meat. Then he charged forward with his daggers, unleashing his twin snake strike to attack Bai Kim. Bai Kim was bored with his pathetic display. Famban, you really are a short-sighted piece of trash. And with that, Bai Kim effortlessly blocked both daggers with one hand. Famban was terrified now. What did you say? You easily blocked my twin snake strike? Bai Kim smirked, letting him know the truth. At the same time, he readied a punch with his other hand. Did you really think I didn't know you were wearing inner armor? He explained. I felt it from the very first strike. Thing is, I just wanted to play with you for a bit. That feeling of having hope, only for it to be crushed into despair. It sucks, doesn't it? He channeled power into his other hand and told Famban, Now, I'm gonna beat you to death so you can feel the true power of the Chi Fist Ring. Bai Kim then smashed a fist right into his face. He was so stunned he couldn't even defend himself, eating a full combo of Bai Kim's punches. Bai Kim finished him off with a massive punch to the face that sent him flying. Famban skidded across the ground. He was completely KO'd, lying humiliated on the floor. Famban still couldn't believe it. How are you completely fine? Bai Kim explained it to him. You're wondering why I used a flawed Chi Fist blade technique but came out completely unscathed, right? Famban scrambled back into a corner in terror. You figured it out? Bai Kim just replied calmly. Only a clown like you would think everyone else is an idiot. Bai Kim looked at him grimly and made an offer. Famban, I'll give you one chance to live. Hearing Bai Kim's question, he froze in fear. The offer was, tell me who the mastermind behind all this is, and tell me what happened to my parents, and I'll let you live. Famban bit down hard, trembling. After a moment, he coughed up a mouthful of blood, shocking Bai Kim. What's this? He had a poison sac in his mouth. Before he died, Pham Ban spat insults at him. Bai Kim, when it comes to your parents' whereabouts, you should never, ever try to find out. So what if you're a genius? With your pathetic level of strength. Bai Kim just stood there, listening to his final insults. You'll be crushed like an ant before you know it. After saying his piece, Pham Ban dropped dead. Unfazed, Bai Kim looked up. This selfish, ungrateful bastard would rather die than reveal the truth. He turned and walked away, thinking things over. It seems the mastermind behind this is a major power in Dawn City. Now that Pham Ban is dead, the enemy will definitely make another move. My situation just got a lot more dangerous. Then Bai Kim looked at the crowd and declared, "Bring it on. I want to see just how badass the people pulling the strings really are." He pushed the door open to leave, wondering, "But I've only just become an F-rank professional. I'm still way too weak. The top priority right now is to level up my power fast." As he left, a mysterious man in a suit watched him from the crowd. Night had fallen. Next to the professional zone was a vast area surrounded by a massive barrier. Inside a room, Bai Kim was on his bed, cultivating. Streams of energy were gathering around him. The energy converged in the palm of his hand, flowing from a crystal, but it quickly disintegrated into nothing. As soon as the energy was completely absorbed, he looked disappointed as the crystal turned to dust. As expected of the supreme all-profession physique, it absorbs energy from crystals at an insane speed. Too bad that was the last spirit crystal. But Bai Kim's disappointment faded quickly. He remembered that when he first became an F-rank professional, his spirit power was only at 105. Now, it's already shot up to 246. He thought about the crystal and how it turned into energy. Theoretically, the power in one low-grade spirit crystal can be converted into 10 points of spirit power. Then he explained the basics of crystal absorption. But theory is just theory. When a professional cultivates, most of the energy within a spirit crystal just evaporates. Normally, a professional can only absorb about 10%. Hitting that rate is already considered pretty good. Bai Kim continued his thought. An absorption rate of 30% or more is already considered genius level. Then Bai Kim jumped off his bed, excited. 20 low-grade spirit crystals boosted my spirit power by 141 points. My absorption rate for spirit crystals has already reached 70%. He looked at his hands, ecstatic. In my past life, even with the epic grade limitless chi art, my absorption rate only peaked at around 40%. It seems this all-profession physique, combined with the limitless chi art, is truly on another level. Bai Kim walked to the window, opened the curtains, and stretched. Too bad this apartment is just in the outer ring of the Awaken zone. The Stargate's radiant effect is limited here. Otherwise, this training session might have yielded even greater results. My spirit power might have even hit 3,000. He thought of Song Qian, seething with anger. Does that guy have a death wish? After I killed Fan Bin and went to get my family's villa back from him, that scumbag informed me that once the Bai family villa was transferred to Fan Bin, it had nothing to do with the Bai family anymore. And since Fan Bin was dead, the villa would be seized by the management center. Then he provoked me with that smug look on his face. As for you, you're just an F-rank awakened. Per the regulations, I'll assign you a unit in the outer district. Now get lost. But Bai Kim was just as resolute. They won't swallow the Bai family's villa that easily. But for now, there was nothing Bai Kim could do, so he made a decision. However, Song Qian is the supervisor of the Awakened Zone, a C-rank awakened. My current strength isn't enough to deal with him. I need to level up my power for now. Just you wait. Then Bai Kim covered his face in frustration. But I miscalculated something this time. Remembering the money he'd received, the remaining merit balance in his parents' account was only enough for 20 low-grade spirit stones. It seems they used up all their resources over the years, treating my weakened spirit and illness. Bai Kim sighed. I never thought I'd be stressing over money one day. Holy crap. He took out a device and turned it on, projecting his information. It read, Name Bai Kim. Profession, F-rank warrior. Merit, 0. Looking at his stats, he noted, I need more spirit stones. Bai Kim then decided to check the Warriors Guild missions, hoping to find something worthwhile. The mission board appeared. There were 3 missions listed. First mission, F-rank. Find Cola's underwear that fell into the dark cellar. Reward, 1,000 currency, 1 merit point. Second mission, F-rank. Eliminate the stray, rabid dogs outside the city. Reward, 1,500 currency, 2 merit points. The final mission was an E-rank quest. Explore the ruins in the southern suburbs of the city. Reward, 10,000 currency, 10 merit points. After looking them over, Bai Kim rested his chin on his hand. The pay for these E and F rank missions is decent. But the merit points are a total joke. It takes 100 merit points to exchange for a single, low-grade spirit crystal. He calculated, as he looked at the missions. If this doesn't work, maybe I'll try a D-rank mission. It's not like it's impossible to complete. He thought of those two jerks, Song Qian and Chen Guan. Bai Kim was a bit worried. A newly promoted awakened, completing a D-rank mission would definitely attract too much attention. So he decided, right now, the Warriors Guild is watching me closely, which keeps the people behind the scenes from acting recklessly. But if I show off too much, it'll just force their hand. And my current strength isn't enough to handle that. So Bai Kim opened the final mission, the E-rank quest. Explore the ruins in the southern suburbs of the city. Reward, 10,000 currency, 10 merit points. He thought, how can I make money fast without drawing attention? Suddenly noticing something, he opened the mission location. Inside was an image of a forest. Bai Kim said, this forest looks like it could have a pretty good harvest. Outside the city, where the awakened were stationed, he appeared before a signpost leading into the green moss forest. The sign pointed, Green Moss Forest, that way. Suddenly, a female voice called out to him, Bai Kim. It was Lin Shi. She asked him, did you also take the Green Moss Forest mission? Bai Kim looked at Lin Shi and thought, it's her. He replied politely, that's right. For some reason, she suddenly ran over to him. She blushed, making him blush too. Lin Shi said, what a coincidence. Why don't you join our squad? Bai Kim was surprised, thinking, why is this girl suddenly getting so close? Someone else walked up and scolded her. Lin Shi, if you want to pull someone into the team, you should at least ask the team leader first, shouldn't you? The one who spoke was the E-rank knight, Luo Song. He started dissing Bai Kim. For our E-rank squad, an F-rank newbie chicken will just be a burden. Lin Shi got angry and was about to defend Bai Kim. Luo Song, Bai Kim is not a burden. Before she could finish, another person appeared and told Luo Song who Bai Kim was. He is Bai Kim. Man, Luo Song, you're really clueless. This is the genius from the recent talent assessment, the one who obtained a golden talent just like Lin Shi. The speaker was the E-rank archer, Dong Bo. He extended a hand to shake Bai Kim's and introduced himself warmly. Hello, I'm Dong Bo. Welcome to my squad. Bai Kim shook his hand, much to Lin Shi's delight and Luo Song's fury. He said to Dong Bo, in that case, it would be rude to refuse. Captain Dong Bo, it's a pleasure. Luo Song was still fuming. He continued to argue, hoping Dong Bo would change his mind. So what if he's a genius with a golden talent? At the end of the day, he's still just an F-rank warrior. He'll be a liability to our team. Hearing Luo Song continue to badmouth Bai Kim, Dong Bo shot him a glare and snapped, Luo Song, shut your mouth. From betrayed trash to an SSS-Grade War God, this is the story of a man whose full profession awakening will shatter the world. But for now, he plays the part of a weakling. The forest at night was beautiful, with fireflies creating a magical scene. But that peace was shattered by the clash of weapons. On the outskirts of the Green Moss Forest, Dongbok's team, Lam Ke, La Tung, and Bak Kim were battling monsters. Lam Ke fired a flame arrow at one of them. The arrow slammed into a Triant, setting its body ablaze. The monster was an E-rank black-twisted Triant. Its body stopped burning, and in an instant, it prepared to charge her, but La Tung blocked its attack. Seeing this, Dongbok also drew his bow and prepared a fire arrow. But unlike Lam Ke's arrow, this one made the monster instantly explode. That jerk La Tung turned to suck up to Dongbok. That's our captain for you. Dealing with an E-rank Triant is a piece of cake. Then he turned to mock Bak Kim. You see that, Bak Kim? An E-rank mission isn't a battle that a worthless F-rank scrub can handle. Hearing this, Lam Ke got furious with La Tung. What's that supposed to mean? She angrily approached La Tung and confronted him. I was the one who fired the first arrow. Are you mocking me, saying F-rank archers are useless? La Tung tried to backpedal. Lam Ke, that's not what I meant. I was talking about Bak Kim. She glared at him furiously. Talking about Bak Kim is the same as talking about me. He's F-rank, and so am I. Got a problem? Realizing something was wrong, Dongbok whipped his head around, sensing an ambush. When he spotted the threat, he immediately yelled a warning. Lam Ke, watch out. With no time to react, Lam Ke could only stand there and accept her fate. But surprisingly, the branch stopped just before it hit her. Opening her eyes, she discovered that Bak Kim had caught the branch just before it could harm her. Then he pointed in a direction and showed everyone where the ambusher was hiding. Bak Kim told them, don't worry, I got this. And just as he said, an E-rank rogue was hiding there. As it lunged at them, another monster leaped out next to it. It was an E-rank black-twisted Triant archer. Seeing it, The rogue used its dagger to take care of the other monster. After finishing it off, the rogue left. Lam Ke blushed and grabbed Bak Kim's sleeve, saying shyly, "Thank you, Bak Kim." He just laughed out loud. "No problem, we're teammates after all." Seeing them getting all lovey-dovey made Latung absolutely furious. This annoying scrub is always looking for a chance to get close to Lam Ke, the bastard. As for Bak Kim, he scanned his surroundings and assessed the situation. It's just as I predicted. They began to move on. He analyzed the forest. This green moss forest is extremely unstable. Bak Kim noted, the light of the Stargate and the aura of darkness are in a constant struggle. These two forces have never stopped. Beneath the starlight, there is darkness, and within the darkness, there is light, creating a relative balance. He thought back to the area beside the profession zone. It was a vast area, enclosed by a massive barrier. He said, "Once the dark aura in an area changes, the monsters here will become agitated." Then, images of terrifying monsters flashed in his mind. Bak Kim thought, this is also why the black twisted treants have appeared on the outskirts of the green moss forest. Of course, that's not what I'm most interested in. His focus returned to the forest around them. With a drastic increase in dark energy, many hidden treasures will appear. That's my real reason for coming here. Suddenly, Dong Bak took out some kind of device. It started beeping, startling Bak Kim. He looked at the mark on his knife and said, "The final trail marker has been set. The exploration of the green moss forest outskirts is successfully completed. Good work, everyone. Prepare to retreat to base." Hearing that, Bak Kim thought, retreating now is perfect. I'll come back up here alone a little later. Suddenly, that obnoxious Latung spoke up. "Captain, how can we go back just like this? The reward for an E-rank mission isn't enough for us to split." Dongbak was surprised. "Latung, what are you suggesting?" He added, "Based on our strength, we can definitely go deeper into the forest and explore the entire area. The rewards would be much richer that way." "That sounds reasonable." Dongbak turned to ask for everyone's opinion. "Maybe we really can give it a shot. Does anyone have an opinion on Latung's proposal?" Everyone said in unison, "We'll follow the captain's arrangements." Latung immediately started trash-talking Bak Kim again. "Bak Kim, once we go deep into the green moss forest, an F-rank warrior will be a liability to the team. You should leave the party now." He said nothing, only giving him a contemptuous look. Asterisk. This self-righteous idiot just saved me the trouble of finding an excuse to leave the team. Asterisk. Lam Ke angrily defended him. "Latung, Bak Kim is a genius who obtained the golden talent. His strength isn't as low as you think. He is." Dongbak cut her off. "Lam Ke, no matter what, the green moss forest is an E-rank zone. If we go deeper, the danger will increase many times over. Just bringing you along is a lot of pressure for me, so if I have to bring Bak Kim too." Lam Ke trembled, about to protest, but Bak Kim interrupted her and proposed, "The captain is right. Based on my strength, retreating is indeed the smartest choice." But he thought, asterisk, "This girl, I want to act alone. Don't ruin my good plans." Asterisk. Dongbak placed a hand on Bak Kim's shoulder to comfort him. "Bak Kim, my squad's strength is limited. I'm sorry." "Hey, I'll split the exploration mission reward with you." He politely declined. "It's fine. I know exactly what I'm capable of. Thanks, team leader." Meanwhile, Latung was gloating. That damn eyesore is finally gone. The rest of the team headed deeper inside. Watching them go, Bak Kim noted, "The dark aura in this forest is getting stronger. An E-rank squad rushing in like this is asking for trouble. Still, that girl, Lin Shi, will probably be fine." Recalling the two mysterious figures, he figured those low-key guys weren't E-rank awakened, but D-rank. Probably bodyguards secretly sent by the Lin family. And from the looks of it, that Lin Shi girl is completely clueless. But he was satisfied. Cracking his neck, he said, "Finally, I'm alone. Time to get down to business." Bak Kim dashed deeper into the forest. Leaping through the branches, he quickly landed and observed, the concentration of dark aura here is way higher than outside. Just like how humans choose to live near stargates, these black twisted treants prefer this as their territory. Just then, an E-rank monster, a black twisted treant, burst out from behind him. It lunged at Bak Kim. Eyeing it seriously, he noted, "Monsters influenced by the dark aura eventually go berserk. They can even use camouflage to launch surprise attacks." Bak Kim swiftly dodged aside and activated a skill. To his surprise, he landed a solid punch, but when he looked, the creature's body was completely unscathed. Bak Kim was shocked. A blow with 70% of my strength could only scratch its defenses? Dodging its counterattack, he calculated. Still, breaking its defense is good enough. This black treant's fatal weakness is fire. Bak Kim summoned flames, thinking, For someone like me with a full profession physique, even though I don't specialize in sorcery, conjuring a simple flame to imbue my weapon is no problem at all. He then began to coat his dagger in flames. The skill was called Fire Imbuement. The monster charged, but Bai Kim slashed it, carving out a huge chunk of its body and setting the rest ablaze. After dealing with it, Bai Kim looked back at its sizzling corpse and said, "When you know a monster's weakness, fusing skills from two different professions works like a charm. Even an E-rank monster with this level of defense can be taken down in a single blow." He panted, looking at his hand. "That flame I just forced out wasn't a proper skill, so it drained a ton of my mana. That level of consumption from one attack is insane." Bai Kim thought anxiously. "Looks like I need to figure out how to learn other class skills, and fast." The monster's body stopped burning, and something emerged from its corpse. It suddenly shot into the air and flew straight into Bai Kim's mouth, catching him off guard. After swallowing it, he felt a surge of power. Heart of the brave. The more you fight, the stronger you become. Killing an enemy allows you to absorb its essence, restoring your stamina and increasing your power. Bai Kim was thrilled. My depleted energy is recovering rapidly. So this is the effect of, the more you fight, the stronger you get. As expected of a god-tier talent. With this, I won't have to worry about drawn-out battles anymore. Once it was over, he brushed away the ashes on the ground, revealing a crystal. Picking it up, Bai Kim commented, "Just as I thought." With the amplified dark aura, the black treants deeper in this forest produce these impure dark crystals. The spirit energy inside this type of crystal is only about 1/10 of a regular one. Plus, it's mixed with a ton of dark energy, so regular awakened can't use it at all. They'd even be worried about getting corrupted by the dark energy. Looking at it with a grin, he said, "For other awakened, forget about even finding these dark crystals. Even if they did, they'd be totally useless." But Bai Kim's expression shifted. "For me, though, it's a different story." He crushed the crystal, saying, "My epic grade secret art, Boundless Qigong, is more than enough to purge the dark energy and extract the pure power within." More monsters began emerging from the bushes around him. Seeing them, Bai Kim said to them, "Looks like there are still more dark crystals hidden here." He stood up, imbuing his dagger with flames once more. "All right then, let's get started." A horde of monsters charged at Bai Kim. He began cutting them down, felling one with every fiery slash. Bai Kim moved in a blur of slashes, setting countless monsters ablaze. But as he paused for a second, a monster's arm shot out right in front of his face. Luckily, he dodged just in time. Leaping back, Bai Kim cursed himself. "Got a little careless there. Good thing my superpowered full profession physique, with a mage's perception and a ranger's agility, let me react in time to avoid that." Catching his breath, he observed, "These black treants are E-rank, and there's a hell of a lot of them." But then, Bai Kim shrouded himself in flames. His skill, Heart of the Brave, roared to life. The more he fights, the stronger he gets. He then addressed the monsters. "You think that's enough to stop me?" Bai Kim charged forward and roared, "Let's keep this going." Then he unleashed a lightning-fast barrage of punches on them. His full profession physique, combined with the Heart of the Brave, was enough to make these E-rank monsters back off at will. This kind of power. Back when I was F-rank, it was something I couldn't even dream of. After a few more dashes, Bai Kim came to a stop. He picked up a crystal and said, "At this rate, it won't be long before I'm an E-rank class user." A sudden noise startled Bai Kim. It was coming from the monster corpses. They were flying towards him. What the hell is going on? The bodies of these black treants are being absorbed by the other trees. Bai Kim tensed up. The situation in this forest is changing way faster than I expected. The trees began to move. The trees surrounded Bai Kim, cutting off his escape. He sighed. "Well, this is a problem." Bai Kim watched the swaying trees. These trees. It feels like this entire green moss forest is alive. Suddenly, branches shot out, aiming for Bai Kim's back. Reacting just in time, he leaped out of the way before it was too late, making them crush a boulder instead of him. Landing on the ground, he noted, "Holy crap, that's some serious destructive power." Facing a forest that was basically a living creature, attacks came from everywhere. Forget an E-rank squad, even D-rank class users would have a tough time dealing with this. Feeling a bit scared, Bai Kim wondered, even if an F-rank like me is a total badass, my strength can't possibly compare to a D-rank. Looking closely at the branches targeting him, Bai Kim figured his only option was to dodge the main attacks. Bai Kim began to channel the Boundless Qi, Art of Life Concealment. Suddenly, his body was enveloped by some kind of barrier, and the trees stopped attacking him. Bai Kim watched and thought, The efficiency of this secret art makes the spiritual power and vital energy in my body circulate rapidly. As long as I don't make any sudden movements, my entire being will be like wood and stone, completely undetectable. Slowly backing away, Bai Kim noted. Besides, these trees don't have eyes. They can only rely on perception, so of course they can't find me. Standing still, he looked ahead and said, a major event like this probably means the dark source of the green moss forest has changed again. Bai Kim concluded. But in a forest this huge, finding the cause of the change won't be easy. Suddenly, the trees moved and prepared to attack, startling him. Huh? Did these weird trees somehow sense my presence? How is that possible? Even a D-rank creature shouldn't be able to detect my existence if it's only relying on perception. The trees began their attack, but they didn't target him. They shot right past Bai Kim, attacking something in front of him. He realized the target of these strange trees wasn't him. Turns out, they were attacking a small sapling on the ground, forcing it to dodge continuously. It dodged while screaming in some strange language. He looked at it in surprise and said, "This is..." Perhaps exhausted, the little sapling fell to its knees, holding its head and crying out in despair in that strange language. When it looked back, it saw the branches had stopped. Right before they could touch it, the branches had been sliced apart by Bai Kim. After dealing with them in a flash, he landed on the ground. After he struck, the trees stopped their assault. When the little sapling opened its eyes, it found itself cradled in Bai Kim's arms. It was shocked that the trees were no longer attacking it. He spoke to it gently and affectionately. This little Triant's body has an incredibly dense starlight power, but it's not a monster born from the corruption of the dark aura. Can you understand what I'm saying? It happily clapped its hands in agreement. Bai Kim was confused. It understands human speech, and it even knows how to say thank you. Could it so smart? Could this little guy be? He asked it cheerfully. Little Triant, do you know where the dark source in this forest is? The little guy happily pointed to one side and chattered in its strange language. Bai Kim asked excitedly, "You really know? Then hurry up and take me there." And so, the two of them set off. He said, "All right, let's go." Meanwhile, the sapling pointed the way, speaking in its incomprehensible language. Elsewhere, Luo Song was blocking a monster's attack with his shield. He shouted to his team, "Captain, now's our chance." Lin Shi and Tong Bo fired their weapons, taking down the monsters. He yelled, "A clean sweep." One monster survived and leaped forward, but Tong Bo shot it down and warned, "Watch out." After blocking the hit, Luo Song was panting heavily, but he still swaggered over to Lin Shi to show off for her. Lin Shi, see that? Took out 3 E-rank black Triants in one go. Now that's efficiency. Without Bai Kim holding us back, our squad's speed has increased a ton. Hearing him, she was completely disgusted. This Luo Song is a real scumbag, and he's actually proud of himself. Doesn't he realize how dangerous that was? Fighting multiple E-rank monsters at once is still pushing it for an E-rank squad like ours. Thinking of Bai Kim, Lin Shi smiled and blushed. I wonder how that guy Bai Kim is doing. His strength is probably not as simple as it looks on the surface. A bald guy in the group voiced his concern. "Captain, something's not right." Tong Bo was surprised. "What is it?" The man looked up and spoke to Tong Bo. "Didn't you guys notice? The bodies of the black Triants we killed along the way." The bald guy said, "Their bodies have vanished." The trees started moving, just like when Bai Jin was fighting earlier. Dongbo was stunned. The trees in this forest are eating the black Triant's corpses. What the hell is going on? Latong trembled and said, "The branches on these trees. What's happening?" Just then, branches shot down at him from above. They wrapped around Latong, making him scream, "Team, Captain, help me." Before his teammates could do anything, a branch pierced right through him. Dongbo yelled in terror, "Damn it, Latong. Everyone, be careful." The others started to panic. What the hell are these trees? It's like the entire green moss forest is rapidly coming to life. Latong started moving again. Or rather, his dried up corpse did. It was being controlled by the tree. It let out a cracking sound. "Human profession holders, you will all die here." In the silent forest, Dongbo stared in horror at Latong's body, tightly bound by vines. Was Latong assimilated by the black Triant? Is that even possible? These Triants are just E-rank. How can they assimilate a profession holder of the same rank? Latong, his eyes glowing red, charged forward, a strained whisper escaping his lips. "Human profession holder, die." He had no choice but to draw his bow, using his E-rank skill, Flaming Arrow, to attack. Despite the arrow's terrifying speed, Latong made no move to dodge. In the blink of an eye, several branches shot out and blocked the arrow. the flames vanishing instantly. Dongbo's eyes went wide, unable to believe what he'd just seen. My flaming arrow had no effect? How is that possible? But before he could process it, Latong zipped right in front of him. A hoarse voice croaked out, "Human profession holder, I'll turn you into mincemeat." Seeing this, his teammates screamed in panic. "Captain Dongbo, get out of there." But Dongbo's body was frozen stiff, a thin layer of sweat on his forehead. Damn, I can't dodge. I'm dead for sure this time. Suddenly, a flash of green light appeared, powerfully forming a windblade barrage that shot straight towards Latong. Getting hit by a blow like that instantly forced him to leap back, creating distance. A young man with a serious expression appeared, saving Dongbo from the jaws of death. He looked at the young man in surprise. You saved me? Your speed?" He glanced at the other person, in a black cloak with suspicion. "Windblade Barrage is a D-rank spell. Are you guys D-rank profession holders?" The young mage pulled down his hood, the corner of his mouth curving up. Didn't expect to get exposed. The young man with him also looked ahead grimly and said, "No choice. Who would have thought we'd run into this much trouble in a small place like the Green Moss Forest?" Lin Shi, drenched in sweat, panted and asked with difficulty, "Who are you?" The mage glanced at her as if he already knew the question. "That's right, miss. The family head ordered us to secretly protect." Lin Shi pressed her lips together and whispered softly, "My father." The sturdy young man leaped into the air, saying with a firm tone, "Miss Z, please rest assured. Leave the rest to us." Just then, a flash of green light lit up a large section of the forest, followed by a deafening roar. A moment later, the young man was knocked back. He gritted his teeth, unable to believe what he just saw. How could this happen? He tightened his grip on his blade, his brows furrowed, the black branches assimilating Latong. How? Latong was now completely encased by the branches, with no trace of his human form left. The young man couldn't help but worry. The regeneration speed of these black branches is too damn fast. If we keep fighting like this, we'll die from exhaustion. Just then, Latong straightened up and let out a thunderous roar. The force of it shattered the ground and rocks around him, sending debris flying. The mage, while casting a spell, turned to warn, "Miss Lindsay, in a moment, I'm going to do my best to create an opening. You need to take that chance and escape." Her face immediately darkened, and she strongly rejected his words. "No, if I leave." But before she could finish, another windblade barrage was unleashed, slicing through all the nearby branches. The green whirlwind powerfully lifted Lindsay into the air as the mage's voice roared, "Miss, go now." She landed on the ground, watching helplessly as the branches closed in again, speechless. "You guys." A rustling sound came from the nearby bushes, and her gaze quickly fell upon two Triant monsters waiting for a chance to attack. Lin Shi decisively got up, turned, and ran from the monster's claws. Escape. Fear flickered in her eyes as her stamina rapidly drained away. "I'm almost out of energy. I can't run anymore." The moment she turned back, a Triant monster leaped nimbly, high into the air, extending its sharp claws. A single tear escaped the corner of Lin Shi's eye. All thoughts of survival had vanished. With tears in her beautiful eyes, she murmured, "I'm sorry, everyone. You all sacrificed your lives to let me escape." But just then, a blinding flash of light erupted with a thunderous boom. Lam Ke shielded her face, squeezing her eyes shut. When the chaos subsided, she stared at the figure who had just appeared and stammered, "You're Bai Kim." He appeared, wielding his powerful azure flame saber. Hearing the shock in Lam Ke's voice, he glanced at her with a slight frown, his tone dead serious. "Lam Ke, what happened to your squad? Where are Captain Dongbak and the others?" A faint blush appeared on her fair cheeks. Lam Ke was still in shock. "Bai Kim, you just insta-killed 3 E-rank monsters." But this was no time for a happy reunion. More monstrous Triants began to swarm them. Bai Kim let out a sigh. These things are a real hassle. Without a word, he decisively wrapped an arm around Lam Ke's waist. She gasped in shock. "Bai Kim, what are you?" Bai Kim looked down at her and threatened in a low voice, "Shut up. One more word and I'll throw you out to fend for yourself." Intimidated, Lam Ke quickly looked away and deflected. The monsters, they're coming. But the Triants acted as if they were blind, completely ignoring them. They calmly shuffled past, leaving her stunned. How come? These monsters don't seem to see us? Lam Ke turned to Bai Kim, her mind racing with questions. Is it because of him? Is this one of his profession's talents? This guy is full of secrets. This close contact made even a guy like him blush a little. Why so close? This is so damn annoying. Unfortunately, my skill is only E rank. This is the only way I can conceal her presence too. After a while, the forest fell silent once more. The Triants were gone. Then, from another corner of the woods, a mysterious black smoke billowed out. When the smoke cleared, Bai Kim and Lam Ke were standing beneath a massive ancient tree. He then calmly got down to business. We're safe for now. Talk. Tell me exactly what happened to your group. He paused, his expression serious. The mage and the rogue on your team, they're both D-rank professionals, right? So what could have happened that two D-rank professionals couldn't handle? Lam Ke stared blankly, utterly confused. How? How did you know that? A cold sweat trickled down her forehead as she eyed him with suspicion. Bai Kim, how did you know we had two D-rank professionals? His face was a calm mask, completely unreadable. How do I know? I used my eyes. He then calmly explained. Their disguises were sloppy. Their earlier fight left obvious traces. You just failed to notice them. Bai Kim's every word was a direct hit to her pride. As an archer, observation skills were fundamental, especially since she had a gold-grade archer's talent. To fail to notice something so basic, it was pathetic. She curled up into a ball, her eyes brimming with tears of self-reproach. You're right. I'm pathetic. If only I were a little stronger. Everyone wouldn't have died. Bai Kim cut her off bluntly. Is crying going to help? Just tell me what happened. Choking back a sob, Lam Ke struggled to hold back her tears and began to explain. Deep in the green moss forest, we ran into. After hearing her story, Bai Kim finally understood the situation. I see. The situation in the green moss forest was just as he'd expected. Suddenly, Lam Ke's voice cut through the silence. Bai Kim, you can avoid these monsters. Let's hurry back to the encampment. We can report this to the guild and have them send an elite team to rescue them. Bai Kim immediately shattered her fantasy. Wait for the guild to send their experts? Do you really think Dongbak and the others will still be alive by then? With the right strategy, even an E-rank professional can handle this. He pursed his lips, a headache forming. Two D-rank professionals, and they still got almost wiped out. Utterly useless. Lam Ke looked at him timidly, then explained the crucial detail he was missing. After Latung was corrupted, he became so powerful that even D-rank professionals could barely handle him. So how could an E-rank possibly deal with that? Bai Kim got to his feet, glanced back at her, and simply said, "Let's go. Take me there. I'll deal with the anomaly in the green moss forest." Meanwhile, back with Dongbak's squad, a pillar of green light was still holding strong. It acted as a powerful barrier of wind, holding back the swarm of monstrous Triants. The mage's eyes were blazing with focus, his face grim as he struggled to maintain the barrier. I have to. Hold on. Suddenly, two figures appeared on a nearby branch, Bai Kim and Lam Ke. She couldn't help but clench her fists, whispering urgently to Bai Kim. The captain and the others. They're not going to last much longer. Bai Kim, can you do something to save them? Please, I'm begging you. He glanced over at her, his voice low. There's nothing I can do to save them. The one who can save them is you? She looked at Bai Kim with wide, surprised eyes, unable to believe what he just said. Me? What can I possibly do? Bai Kim calmly pointed her in the right direction, guiding her to learn how to use her talent. Your golden tier talent was inherited from your ancestors. It's a perfect match for you. He paused for a moment, then continued with a serious tone. You've had this talent for a while now, but you still haven't even grasped the basics of it. Do you really think you're worthy of such an incredible gift? A small speck of light slowly appeared on Lam Ke's forehead, as Bai Kim's steady voice continued. If you want to save them, you need to learn how to use your talent right now. She bit her lip and turned to Bai Kim with a desperate look. Bai Kim, please teach me what to do. His deep, warm voice rang out, slowly instructing Lam Ke. Calm down, activate your talent, and observe. Suddenly, a radiant golden insignia appeared on her forehead, and her eyes glowed with a dazzling light that illuminated her entire face. Lam Ke's pink pupils instantly turned a brilliant gold, which caught Bai Kim's attention. What is this golden insignia? He observed for a moment and quickly recognized the talent she possessed. The golden tier talent of a Hawkeye archer. Lam Ke's aptitude is actually pretty outstanding. With my guidance, she could probably reach S rank in less than 10 years. But Bai Kim quickly pushed that thought aside. He shook his head slightly. Why am I thinking about taking on a student again? Wasn't getting screwed over by that ungrateful student miserable enough? Lam Ke suddenly spoke, cutting through his thoughts. I see it. She looked towards Latung, who was screaming wildly on the ground, a mysterious aura enveloping his body. She said slowly, "The aura around Latung. It looks like dozens of dark Triants are layered on top of each other." Bai Kim calmly gave her an order, his expression unchanged. "Keep going. Just seeing that isn't enough." Lam Ke clenched her jaw and hissed through her teeth, "I'll do my best." She furrowed her long brows, her eyes wide open. She continued to observe the situation below. "I see it." A purple energy sphere was gradually revealed under Lam Ke's talent. It's located right on Latung's abdomen. The moment she saw it, she said, "I see where all their power is concentrated." Bai Kim glanced down at Latung below, explaining gently, "The corruption inside Latung's body is the cause. It led to the sudden change in the green moss forest. This whole forest is like a single entity now." He paused briefly. Then he continued, explaining the root of the problem to Lam Ke. "Latung's body has concentrated the power of dozens of dark Triants. Facing them head-on, you were bound to be defeated. But at its core, it's still just the power level of an E-rank monster. All you need is one good shot to the center." Her body immediately tensed as she raised her bow, her expression dead serious. A complete change from her usual self. "I get it. I just need one shot to the core to defeat it." Suddenly, Bai Kim reached out. He flicked her forehead and chided her gently. "Clever, aren't you?" Lam Ke was stunned, not understanding. "What was that for?" She whimpered softly. "Ow, that hurt." He glanced at her, clutching her head in confusion, and couldn't help but explain. "You're just an F-rank archer. You really think your arrow can break through his defense? One shot to the heart? Use your brain a little." Lam Ke's pupils returned to normal as she stammered, "I'm sorry. Please teach me." Bai Kim let out a soft sigh. "Such a disappointment. You don't know how to adapt, and that's how you ended up in this mess. As an archer, if you can't pierce your target, are you completely out of options?" A spark ignited in Lam Ke's eyes, and she exclaimed with joy, "I've got it." She quickly drew her bow, simultaneously combining her talent to create an arrow of ice. Ice arrow. The arrow flew from the bow, whistling through the air straight towards Latung. The ice arrow struck his abdomen dead on. It formed a layer of chilling ice right on his bark-like skin. But before Latung could even register what happened, another arrow came flying. It hit the exact same spot as the first one. 2, then 3 more ice arrows followed, making the frozen area even larger. Seeing that the tide of battle had begun to turn, Bai Kim tightened his grip on his sword and said, "All right, my turn now." Lam Ke looked at the battered Latung she had shot to pieces, a faint smile of relief appearing on her lips. "I did it." A light blush appeared on her cheeks as she turned and said quietly to Bai Kim, "Mr. Bai Kim, I did it." She looked down again, a hint of worry in her voice. "Mr. Bach, my ice arrows won't last much longer." The moment she finished speaking, Bai Kim leaped from the tree to the ground, his short sword blazing with fire. Seeing his incredibly cool figure, Lam Ke couldn't help but marvel. Mr. Bach seems so cold on the outside, but he always steps up when it counts. He's a total softie on the inside. However, Bai Kim's movements were completely different from a normal rescue, making Lam Ke wonder as she watched. What? Bai Kim wasn't just trying to save him. He was going straight for the kill. To finish off the corrupted Latung. She was horrified. Jumping to her feet, she screamed, "Bai Kim, don't. My ice arrows can only freeze Latung for a moment. His defense is almost on par with a D-rank monster." But Bai Kim charged forward, ignoring Lam Ke's warning. "If you can't break through his defense fast and you get close, you'll be in serious danger." But he stopped right in front of Latung. He already had a plan. Lam Ke's warning was on point. Latung's dark transformation, while low level, had made his vines incredibly tough. His defense wasn't just close times to D-rank, it had already hit it, and was perhaps even stronger than a typical D-rank monster. He smirked, clenching his fist. Asterisk, but I was ready for this. Asterisk. Telling Lam Ke to fire that ice arrow was all part of the plan. And then, both his hands erupted in powerful flames. Bai Kim roared, blazing fist, and decisively slammed a flaming punch right into Latung's stomach. As Latung screamed in agony, Bai Kim knew the attack had worked. The power of flame and the force of ice were colliding. It was enough to unleash an even greater destructive force. In a flash, a huge hole blew open in the ice on Latung's stomach. This allowed the flames to snake inside. Bai Kim whispered, "Fire melts ice. A perfect fusion." A loud crack echoed as flames erupted from within Latung's gut, creating a spectacular sight. Lam Ke could only watch in shock. Asterisk. Did Bai Kim really just shatter his defenses? How is that even possible? Asterisk. A huge chunk of bark sloughed off his body, revealing a grotesque purple core. Bai Kim wondered. Asterisk. So this is the corruption's dark core, Huh? Asterisk. He drew his short sword, igniting it with flames once more, channeling the full power of his blazing fist. With a few sharp, decisive slashes, his flashing blade cut straight into the core, dicing it into tiny pieces. It shattered in an instant. The core was destroyed. The bark and vines wrapped around Latung's body began to retreat. He frowned, his face still streaked with dried blood, and asked faintly, "Where am I?" But his expression instantly shifted the moment he saw Bai Kim. "You good-for-nothing waste, Bai Kim," he spat. Bai Kim just tilted his chin up, looking down on him with contempt. "A waste?" Bai Kim scoffed. "You incompetent fool." His words made Latung grind his teeth in rage. "As a knight, you have a natural advantage against evil forces. You should have been the last person to be corrupted. But you were so weak-willed, you gave the Dark Triant an opening." Latung put a hand to his head, staring at Bai Kim suspiciously. "How do you know that? Could it be you planned all of this?" "Yes, it had to be you." Unable to accept his own weakness, Latung lunged forward, ready to fight Bai Kim. "It had to be a scheming rat like you." Bai Kim's eyes went ice-cold as he spat out a single word, "Idiot." Without a second thought, Bai Kim landed a decisive killing blow on Latung, sending blood spraying everywhere. His body flew backward, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and tearing up the ground. Swoosh! A purple stone slowly floated out of Latung's corpse. The stone floated over to Bai Kim, who sighed to himself. Asterisk. An ignorant, jealous soul. His death is no loss. Asterisk. Wordlessly, he took the stone. In his palm, it radiated a dark, gloomy purple aura. He was inwardly surprised. Turns out, it's a mid-rank dark crystal. Clenching his fist to absorb the energy, Bai Kim smirked. Asterisk. This masterless dark energy thinks it can corrupt me? In your dreams. Asterisk. He glanced around, assessing the situation. The cages of black branches had all withered away. The evil aura here had faded significantly, but a faint trace still lingered. Just then, Lam Ke's voice called out. Anxiously, she yelled, "Captain, Dong back. Is everyone all right?" After a quick check, she finally sighed in relief. "They're just unconscious from exhaustion. Nothing life-threatening." Asterisk. Thank goodness. Asterisk. Lam Ke turned to look at Bai Kim. She bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Bai Kim. If it weren't for you, we would have all died here." Bai Kim suddenly stepped closer, leaning in slightly. "A simple, thank you isn't what I'm after," she stammered, her face turning bright red. "Whoa, what? What do you want?" Her mind started racing with sweet, romantic scenarios. Asterisk, Bai Kim. Could he? Like me? Asterisk, asterisk. I mean, I am one of the most famous beauties in Lamin City. Asterisk. But she couldn't read the expression on Bai Kim's handsome face. Asterisk, what's with her? Asterisk, he thought, then calmly asked, "Do you remember what I told you during the profession trial?" Lam Ke's face instantly fell, her eyes widening in surprise. "Are you telling me that what happened here also has to be kept a secret?" He gave a firm nod. "Exactly. You're a smart girl." Her heart suddenly dropped. Asterisk. So, I was wrong after all. Asterisk, she thought. Bai Kim turned to leave, tossing a few last words over his shoulder. "It's safe here for the time being. You all should stay put." Watching his retreating figure, Lam Ke couldn't help but call out, "Wait, where are you going, Bai Kim?" He turned to look at Lam Q, a cold glint in his eyes. "Obviously, to the deepest part of the Astar, green moss forest, to deal with the source of the aberration." Lam Kue's eyes widened in surprise. The source of the aberration? Bai Kim moved through the silent forest, his mind racing, just as I predicted. He silently scanned his surroundings, assessing the situation. The black trees are all withered. It seems killing the corrupted Luo Song drained a lot of power from the source of the aberration, but its location is still well hidden. Suddenly, Xiao Mu popped its little head out of Bai Kim's shirt, chirping a few times. He gently stroked its head, his voice surprisingly warm. "Little treekin, it's your turn to shine. You'll have to lead the way to the source." Xiao Mu pointed to the far right, letting out a few happy chirps. Bai Kim chuckled to himself. "So it's that way, huh?" He burst forward, sprinting in the direction Xiao Mu pointed, until a massive tree appeared before him. He murmured, "So this is the place?" Bai Kim scanned the area, both to take in the scenery and to watch for any attacks. This stench of decay and the thick, evil aura. The source must be here. But this aura seems to be mixed with other fluctuations. Just then, Xiao Mu reached out, shooting a thin, green strand of light forward. The light touched the gloomy tree trunk, and with a soft glow, the tree reacted, quickly opening a path inside. Bak Kim stepped inside slowly, not forgetting to make an observation, hiding the source of the aberration inside a giant tree. Very clever. He looked down at Xiao Mu and his shirt and whispered, "Little treekin, did you come from in here?" It beamed happily and nodded twice at Bak Kim. A strange light flashed in his eyes, a mix of amusement and curiosity. For the source of an aberration to produce a pure tree spirit. How bizarre. He stuck his hands in his pockets and continued forward. Strange. I haven't sensed a single monster along the way. Suddenly, he saw something glowing up ahead. Have I arrived? When he reached the new entrance, the sight before him made Bak Kim pause for a few seconds. An entire small town, covered in greenery, and emitting a breathtakingly beautiful, ethereal glow. Bak Kim was amazed. To think there's a special little town like this here. He ventured deeper inside, carefully observing every detail. The architectural style is completely different from human cities. Is this really the source of the aberration? It's so full of life, with no trace of evil, corruption whatsoever. But just as he finished his thought, a plume of mysterious black smoke appeared in the distance, startling him. Huh? He discreetly activated his limitless two-finger chi art, causing a blue flame to appear on his fingertip. The flame shot out and immediately dissipated into the air. Soon after, Bak Kim spotted a pair of glowing red eyes staring at him. Over there, a powerful, evil aura. The sense of oppression is terrifying. With my current strength, rushing in, there would be a suicide mission. His eyes sharpened as he assessed the situation, not looking away from that strange entity for a second. I should probably level up first. If I can reach E rank as a professional, my power will take a big leap, and I'll have a better chance. Bak Kim took out the dark stone he had just acquired, staring at it thoughtfully. I'm not far from E rank. This mid-grade dark crystal will be a huge help, but refining the massive amount of dark energy inside will be tricky. Suddenly, Xiao Mu grabbed his collar, its chirps filled with fear. It pointed into the distance, crying out repeatedly as if begging him. Bak Kim followed its gaze and asked softly, "You want me to take you over there?" Hearing this, Xiao Mu nodded decisively, chirping twice in a hurry. He wasn't sure why it was acting this way, but he decided to go along with it. All right then, I'll follow the little treekin's lead. After a while, Bak Kim stopped in front of a mysterious wooden fence. It turned out Xiao Mu hopped down to the ground and touched a small branch on the fence. Bak Kim looked ahead and murmured, "You were born here?" Suddenly, dozens of water bubbles appeared. They were memory bubbles. This caught him by surprise. These are the little treekin's memories. The scenes in the first few bubbles were peaceful. The treekin lived in harmony with the birds, their lives filled with laughter. After watching for a moment, Bak Kim remarked, "So this place was once a town, built by the treekin." Suddenly, the bubbles shattered, tearing apart the beautiful memories of the past. The bubble fragments turned into tiny specks of light, scattering in the air. Xiao Mu began to wave its arms and legs around, its face filled with anxiety. He knelt down to listen to what it was trying to say. "Little treekin, you want me to go inside and check on the other treekin who took care of you?" Xiao Mu clasped its hands together, nodding frantically, as if pleading with Bak Kim. With a sharp glint in his eyes, he immediately replied, "All right, but this town has been in ruins for quite some time, so don't expect too much." It climbs onto Bak Kim's shoulder. He quickly gives it a comforting pat as he leaps over the fence. He mutters a few words, hoping the other Triants managed to escape when the monsters attacked. But the sight before his eyes left him completely stunned. Dozens of Triants lay scattered across the ground, completely lifeless. Seeing this, Tumak couldn't hold back and burst into tears, heavy drops streaming down their face. Bak Kim quickly covers its eyes, whispering softly, "All right, don't look. This is just how cruel and dark this world is." The already withered leaves on the trees begin to fall, emphasizing the tragic scene. As Xiao Mu's cries continue, Bak Kim stands silently behind it. Xiao Mu is now sobbing, its heart broken. Bak Kim's expression is a mix of solemn and thoughtful. Looks like this little guy's emotions won't stabilize anytime soon. After all, it's still just a baby treant spirit. With that, he turns to leave. "Guess I'll have to handle what's next on my own." Suddenly, Xiao Mu leaps onto Bak Kim's shoulder, its determined gaze catching him by surprise. "You want to roll with me, little treant?" Bak Kim glances at Xiao Mu and asks quietly, "You want to get revenge for your people?" Xiao Mu clenches its tiny fist, responding firmly in its own language. Bak Kim gently strokes its head, his voice full of praise. "Never thought someone so small would already understand vengeance and loyalty. You're already way stronger than those born ungrateful." With Xiao Mu on his shoulder, Bak Kim strides forward. "All right, Let's head deeper and check it out. Without delay, they arrive before a gate. This must be the place. Bai Kim uses his stealth skill to enter. Conceal presence. He slips inside smoothly. A smug look crosses Bai Kim's face. Nice. I wasn't detected. Slipped right in. Bai Kim carefully observes his surroundings. The evil energy here is incredibly dense, thick enough to cause high-level mutations in monsters. So why is this thing's aura only between E rank and D rank? Without hesitation, he continues deeper to investigate. Let's see what's further inside. The patrolling Triant guards glance around warily. Suddenly, Bai Kim notices something unusual, letting out a sharp He silently watches the bizarre scene unfolding before him. Black branches form an altar, and the evil power concentrated within it is spreading throughout the entire moss forest. In front of the Triant corpse, the old moss forest king stands guard. And it's a giant, blackened Triant corpse at that. Is this the source of all the dark, mutating power in this forest? This is a black Triant ritual. Bai Kim's eyes narrow as he cautiously analyzes the situation. What is he doing? Trying to absorb the power of the giant black Triant corpse? The moss forest king looks on with eager anticipation. The ritual is almost complete. Once I drain this one's energy, I will become the true king of this forest. Suddenly, Xiaomu's body begins to act strangely, emitting an odd sound. The Triant corpse stirs, causing the forest king to cry out in confusion. What's happening? He immediately understands and unleashes his magic. An intruder! He points his staff directly at Bai Kim's hiding spot. Found you. Bai Kim slowly steps out, speaking calmly. So, I've been discovered. Guess a sneak attack is off the table. The Moss Forest King's eyes glow red as he snarls. Human, you killed my subordinates and used a Triant spirit to interrupt my ritual. And now you've walked right into my grasp. Guards! At his command, his minions spring into action. Eliminate the intruder. Without a shred of fear, Bai Kim charges head-on into the fight. Gotta make this quick. Bai Kim faces off against countless ferocious Triants alone. He decisively cuts down one after another. Realizing the disadvantage, Bai Kim hesitates for a second. This is bad. There are too many black Triants here. I can't keep this up. Instantly, Bai Kim switches targets to the Moss Forest King. He shouts, rocketing towards the boss. To kill a snake, you gotta crush its head. Gripping his short sword tightly, Bai Kim moves at top speed. My pirate aptitude makes me way faster than normal. This black Triant is a mage-type class. Once I get in close, killing it will be easy. In a flash, Bai Kim is right on top of the Forest King. I'm in range. Suddenly, he's shocked, only managing to gasp out. Huh? He's left speechless as the Forest King swings its staff towards him. The sheer force from the staff shatters the ground. Luckily, Bai Kim manages to leap back just in time to dodge the blow. Such immense power. That's not weaker than a warrior at all. If that attack had hit me, I'd be dead or crippled. Not stopping there, the Forest King unleashes another attack. Foolish human, prepare to die. Sweat drips down Bai Kim's face as he stammers. This is a dual-class monster, a mage and a warrior. The king brazenly takes an attack stance. Now, I'll show you the true terror of the Moss Forest King. Bai Kim flashes a contemptuous smirk. Trash. Provoked, the king furiously charges at him. You dare insult me, your king? I'll crush you into meat paste. Bai Kim just watches. Staring at the gem clutched in his hand, he was supposed to absorb it slowly. But now, there was no time for that. He crushed the gem without a second thought. Bai Jin didn't flinch, taunting the monster with his voice. Does trash like you really deserve to be king? Bai Jin's pupils suddenly turned gold as he muttered. Breakthrough to E rank. His mana points surged from F rank's 390 to E rank's 410. Instantly, a massive explosion erupted, shaking the entire area. The blast was deafening. It shattered everything in its path. The force was so powerful, it sent the Moss Forest King flying. From within the thick white smoke, Bai Jin grinned triumphantly. Breaking through to an E rank awakened really is a massive level up. Compared to before, Bai Jin's eyes were now ice cold. He frowned, but then he saw the Moss Forest King slowly, struggling to get back up. The Flame Fist ring still couldn't deal a fatal blow to this thing. The beast gathered all its strength. It let out a furious roar. Human, unfazed, Bai Jin actually seemed amused. Taunting? Losing your cool? The angrier it gets, the more openings it'll show. In a flash, it leaped forward, launching a direct attack that even took Bai Jin by surprise. Holy crap. Its speed and the power behind that attack were way stronger than before. Bai Jin managed to dodge back to safety just in time. That was a close one. The monster was a hell of a lot faster. Showing no mercy, it charged at Bai Jin again. Bai Jin met the attack head-on, just as fiercely. Flame Fist Ring, Triple Impact Blast. Seeing how sturdy the creature was, Bai Jin had to admit, this tree armor's defense is insane. This is gonna be tough. The beast's eyes were burning with killing intent as a sinister energy gathered in its hand. Bai Jin's eyes widened, sensing grave danger. Immediately, the beast launched that energy straight at Bai Jin. A direct hit. Bai Jin was slammed to the ground. Seeing this, the monster couldn't contain its glee and gloated. Human, you've been hit by my dark corrosion. You're finished. But suddenly, the Moss Forest King's expression changed to one of shock. Bai Jin was completely unharmed. He calmly explained, "Good thing my knight's constitution protected my brain, the most critical spot. If that dark energy had fully corroded me, I might have lost control completely." The Holy Crest Knight physique is no joke. With a confident smirk, Bai Jin strode forward. "That little trick of yours almost worked." Provoked, the beast charged again, screaming in a rage, "You damn human." It unleashed a flurry of attacks, but Bai Jin effortlessly dodged every single one. This monster's attacks are nothing to me now. But this thing has tough skin and thick flesh, making it hard to kill. Clutching his short sword, Bai Jin thought to himself, "This weapon was a birthday gift from my parents when I was 12. It's only F-rank quality, so it can barely scratch. This monster's tree armor." He landed softly, a victorious look on his face, despite the slight pause. Bai Jin slowly began to channel power into his sword. What if I add some ice to it? He gripped the fully transformed short sword. Frozen, short blade. Bai Jin calmly stood his ground, waiting for the Moss Forest King's attack. Neither side was willing to back down. The fight was a chaotic blur. Bai Jin skillfully dodged his opponent's blow, then landed a clean slice across its neck. A patch of ice instantly formed where Bai Jin's sword had struck. He then relentlessly landed more blows on its body. Seeing his chance, Bai Jin raised his fist and chuckled. That should be enough. He threw a powerful punch straight at its weak spot. Shatter! The beast cried out in pain as a chunk of its sturdy body was blown away. Bai Jin spun his sword and advanced menacingly. Next, with a serious expression, he got into an attack stance and whispered, "It's all over." Finishing blow. Bai Jin launched a direct, fatal strike. But the Moss Forest King's expression suddenly turned strange. Awakened. "Human, you want to destroy me?" At the critical moment, it dashed at full speed toward the corpse of the giant Triant. It frantically hacked away at the vines holding it down. "You monstrous Triant, wake up for me." The Triant quickly regained consciousness, letting out a savage shriek. Standing on the massive Triant, the desperate king yelled, "Then let's die together." A hint of dread appeared in Bai Jin's eyes as he carefully assessed the situation. This aura, this giant black Triant, is a D-rank monster. No, it's more than that. Watching the streams of energy converging on one spot, Bai Jin instantly understood. The evil energy of this entire moss forest seems to be gathering inside this one monster. The towering Triant stood there, absorbing every last bit of the dark aura. Bai Jin frowned deeply, unable to hide the worry in his eyes. This is going to be a huge problem. The blood and the heart within him were boiling, urging him on. The heart of the brave technique, a will to push forward. In moments of desperation, it can burn one's lifeblood and soul to unleash 10 times their normal combat power. Lin Shi was anxiously watching over her heavily injured, unconscious teammates. The badge in her hand suddenly spoke. "Miss Lin Shi, please hold on. We're almost there." Beads of worried sweat dotted Lin Shi's small face. "Hurry it up, my teammate needs immediate healing." The badge suddenly made a strange noise, and then the connection died. Worry filled Lin Shi's eyes. What the? The call just cut out. She glanced up at the sky, her voice faltering. "What is that?" A deafening explosion then ripped through the dark woods, startling her. An incredibly powerful evil aura was radiating from the mossy forest. Staring intently in that direction, she muttered, "Bai Kim, please be okay." Meanwhile, the colossal monster Triant stomped menacingly towards Bai Kim. Bai Kim didn't flinch, calmly assessing the situation. He looked up at the monster Triant and thought to himself, this giant black Triant's power level is still D-rank, but it's channeling the endless dark aura of the entire forest. I have to end this in one shot. If this turns into a battle of attrition, I'm dead meat. Bai Kim felt power surging through his veins. Mythical grade talent, Heart of the Brave. In the face of despair, press forward and burn your own life force. The strongest can boost their combat power by 10 times. Clenching his fist, Bai Kim's expression turned resolute. Time to go all in. Even if this power-up leaves me completely drained, I have to give it a shot. The giant monster Triant poised itself to strike. The monster's making its move. Fine by me, I'll take it down first. A torrent of power began swirling around Bai Kim. Heart of the Brave. The old king of the mossy forest watched expectantly, cackling with vile delight. Bai Kim's brows knitted together, his eyes blazing with resolve. But then, his expression suddenly changed. His jaw dropped. The giant monster Triant unleashed a devastating blow, not at him, but at the old king of the mossy forest, catching the king completely off guard. The king was sent flying, his agonizing screams echoing from within the massive cloud of dust. Trembling and too weak to get up, he wheezed. Why? Why attack your own kind? You should be killing that damned human. The words had barely left his mouth when the Triant's colossal branches slammed down on the old king again and again. Watching from the sidelines, a baffled Bai Kim blurted out, "What the hell is going on?" Xiao Mu was just as confused, its eyes wide as it chirped in its own language. The Triant's branches only stopped once the old king was completely obliterated. Then, it unleashed all of its power, roaring in pure fury. The wave of power was so immense that the other Triants were frozen in absolute terror. Instantly, its branches shot out, impaling the other dark Triants one by one. Bai Kim watched it all unfold, murmuring, "This monster's power. It's even scarier than I imagined." Then, the colossal Triant began to slowly walk towards Bai Kim. His face hardened as he snapped into a combat stance. Here it comes. Without flinching, Bai Kim prepared to face the monster Triant head-on. The real battle was about to begin. Xiao Mu quickly leaped forward, determined to help. Xiao Mu's eyes suddenly glowed a vibrant, leaf green. Both sides stood motionless, cautiously sizing each other up. Bai Kim focused his power, ready for battle. A 10 times power boost. But then, an expression of sheer disbelief crossed his face. What? The giant monster Triant was commanding its countless branches to pierce through its own body. Is it killing itself? Strange energy flowed from the Triant's ruined body. Bai Kim faintly saw bubbles of light floating in the air. Seeing them up close, Bai Kim understood instantly. They were the memories of a tree spirit. How could this monster have such a pure tree spirit aura inside it? Unless, both Bai Kim and Xiao Mu suddenly froze as a vision appeared before them. It was a scene from the past. The old king of the mossy forest and his dark Triants were threatening the innocent Triant folk. He ordered arrogantly, "Hand over the Triant tribe's sacred artifact. Accept the baptism of darkness, and I will spare your lives." But one remarkable Triant bravely stepped forward to eliminate the evil horde. This righteous Triant didn't hesitate to save Xiao Mu's original form. "Incredible. You are the prodigy of our people. May our tribe's sacred artifact protect you through this catastrophe." With that, the heroic Triant resumed his fight against the forces of darkness. Bai Kim's face darkened, the entire story clicking into place. So, the hero Triant became that monster just to save Xiao Mu. This was the true history of the mossy forest. Overcome with emotion, Xiao Mu burst into tears. The kind Triant gently patted Xiao Mu's head. "Don't be sad. You have to live a good life." Then, smiling warmly, he turned to Bai Kim. "Human, I'm entrusting this child to you. Please, take good care of it." Bai Kim bowed respectfully, his face solemn. He spoke with a firm, unwavering voice. "You may not be human, but you are a true hero, and you have my utmost respect. I swear I will honor your final wish." And with that, the hero's spirit faded into nothingness. Later, a memorial was erected for the fallen champion. Bai Kim stood silently, watching Xiao Mu kneel and weep before the memorial, its heart-wrenching sobs echoing through the quiet forest. He then cautiously approached the old king's corpse. "All right, let's take a look. The source of the mutation in the green moss forest has been handled. And damn, that was fast." He immediately moves in to loot the corpse. Whoa, this dark Triant mage was loaded with some serious loot. He admires the new gear, laid out neatly on the ground. Bai Kim grins. "Not bad at all. The helmet, gauntlets, and chestplate are all usable." Bai Kim carefully inspects each item in his hands. This black tree bark is some high-quality crafting material, too. As for this staff, I can't use it right now. I could probably sell it on the black market. But then, a thought gives Bai Kim pause. But with all this gear, how the hell am I supposed to carry it all back? Just then, his eyes land on a peculiar grass skirt. What is this? He examines the grass skirt, and a look of delight crosses his face. Holy crap, this thing is a spatial bag. Without a second thought, he starts stuffing all his new loot into the skirt. The pirate's dagger, and especially, over a dozen mid-grade dark crystals. These will be a massive help for leveling up to D rank. Bai Kim's face lights up as he stares at the skirt. But of course, the real treasure here is the spatial bag itself. But then, a hint of suspicion flashes in Bai Kim's eyes. A treasure like this, not even every C rank awakened has one. And yet, It turned up on a D-rank monster. Something's not right. Bai Kim mutters, staring at the grass skirt. This grass skirt is pretty ugly though. It's gonna need a major makeover. Just as he's thinking, Xiao Mu appears, and Bai Kim calls out to him. Oh? Are you done paying respects to your kin? Xiao Mu chirps in response. The little guy then nimbly hops onto Bai Kim's shoulder. With a fond expression, Bai Kim gently pats its head. You're a tough one, aren't you? Stick with me from now on, and I'll look out for you. Meanwhile, the badge on Lin Shi's hand suddenly buzzes with a warning. Miss Lin Shi, an unknown mutation has occurred deep within the green moss forest. The danger level is higher than D rank. Make sure you conceal your position. We're on our way. Lin Shi nods. Understood. With that, she gets to her feet. She gazes off into the distance, worried. A mutation deep in the forest, and Brother Bach still isn't back. Don't tell me he? Suddenly, a figure moving at high speed bursts into view, putting Lin Shi on high alert. But then, her eyes instantly light up with relief. A huge smile spreads across her face. Brother Bach, you're finally back. She rushes over to him, her words tumbling out in a hurry. The rescue team said a terrifying mutation occurred deep in the forest. Brother Bach, you didn't run into any trouble, did you? Bai Kim's brow furrows. The rescue team is on its way? He asks quietly. Then, to Lin Shi's complete surprise, he dashes over to their injured teammates. He reminds Lin Shi, remember the deal we made. And with that, Bai Kim just lays down next to his unconscious comrades. Lin Zi is completely baffled, whispering, Brother Bach, are you trying to trick them by pretending to be knocked out? Just then, the sight of figures rushing toward them from the distance makes Lin Shi jump. She quickly bows in greeting. Deacon Xie Gong. With a stern face, Xie Gong speaks to her in a calm tone. As long as you're unharmed, that's what matters. Head back to camp with the rescue team first. He and his guards then rush deeper into the forest to investigate. We're heading deeper in. We have to get to the bottom of this mutation. Lin Shi can only watch as their figures vanish into the trees. Lin Shi just stands there, her face unreadable, not saying a word. Sometime later, at the awakened camp on the outskirts of the city. Inside the infirmary, Bai Kim curtly says his goodbyes to Lin Zi. I'm leaving. But Lin Zi quickly calls after him. Brother Bach, wait. Bai Kim turns, his eyes cold and his voice flat. The reward for clearing the deep forest. Tell your captain to wire it directly to me. Lin Shi is left completely helpless, at a loss for words. Asterisk. This guy is unbelievable. Asterisk. Just then, the badge on Lin Shi's belt crackles to life. Lin Shi, while you were in the green moss forest, did you encounter any other awakened? Lin Shi's gaze drops as she hesitates for a moment before answering. Other awakened? No, none at all. Deacon Shi? Is something wrong? Jae Gong's voice comes through, his tone grim as he observes the scene before him, the source of the mutation deep within the green moss forest. It's already been taken care of. I suspect it was the work of at least a full squad of D-rank awakened, or possibly a mysterious C-rank expert. Hearing this, Lin Shi's composure falters, her eyes wide with disbelief. Asterisk. Could it be him? No. It couldn't possibly be Brother Bach. Could it? Asterisk. He only just had his awakening a short while ago. Meanwhile, in Dawn City's awakened district, Bai Kim strolls along without a care in the world. With this stash of dark crystals, even though it'll be a pain to refine them, I won't be short on cultivation resources for a while. Bai Kim silently reflects on the recent events. I got a little lucky on this expedition. Thankfully, I had the abilities from my other professions to back me up. Bai Kim clenches his fist, his expression hardening with resolve. Looks like I need to level up fast and learn the official skills for all 5 of my professions. But getting my hands on those skills, without exposing all my trump cards, that's not going to be easy. I'll have to figure something out. Just then, Xiao Mu peeks out from inside Bai Kim's shirt, letting out a little squeak to show he's hungry. Bai Kim's expression softens as he looks at Xiao Mu. What's wrong, little guy? You hungry? Just hang on a little longer. We're almost home. I'll get you something to eat then. Some tasty food. Speaking of which, what do I even feed a Triant? Suddenly, Bai Jin froze at the sight before him. A familiar figure appeared, Song Qian, the manager of the profession zone. Bai Jin scowled as bad memories came flooding back. After Fan Bin's death, Song Qian had seized the Bai family villa for himself. It looked like he was shopping for furniture for his new home. Song Qian quickly spotted him and sneered. Well, if it isn't Bai Jin, I was just thinking about you. After moving in, I have to say, that Bai family villa is pretty damn sweet. Bai Jin narrowed his eyes, a cold smile playing on his lips. Is that so? Then you'd better enjoy it while you can. Inside, Bai Jin was seething. It's been years since anyone dared to act this arrogant in front of me. Just you wait, Song Qian. Your time is running out. Bai Jin silently surveyed the luxurious street before him. So this is the black market of Liming City, huh? He made his way through the bustling crowd. First, I'll get my items appraised, then I'll buy some skills for my other professions. Suddenly, Xiao Mu let out an unhappy, annoyed squeak, making Bai Jin ask with concern, "Hey, what's wrong?" Holding a half-eaten pastry, Xiao Mu clicked its tongue, showing its displeasure. Bai Jin watched it closely and asked softly, "You mean you don't like this stuff?" Xiao Mu immediately nodded in its own way. Bai Jin got the message, muttering to himself, "Looks like human food isn't gonna cut it for this little guy." Before long, he arrived at a building bustling with people. The treasure pavilion. Perfect. Let's see if they have anything this guy can eat. Stepping inside, Bai Jin was stunned by the massive lines. Holy crap, with this many people, I'd be waiting forever. The appraisal profession is always this popular. Then, his gaze landed on a deserted shop. Bai Jin's eyes lit up. This place is empty. Is it new? He muttered. Perfect for appraising some low-level gear. Besides, one appraiser is as good as another. The crowd nearby scoffed when they saw Bai Jin approach the door. Look, another simp drawn in by her beauty. All the men there burst out laughing mockingly. That shop has some badass rules, and this idiot is walking right in to get his ass kicked. Hey, beauty is a sharp blade. Guess seeing a pretty face is worth a beating to some. Let's watch and see how this kid ends up. Just as he was about to pull the door open, Bai Jin paused, noticing a sign on the door. Instructions for entry. If you cannot unlock the spirit power array, you must endure 3 punches from the shop's guard. Without a moment's hesitation, Bai Jin pushed the door right open. Their eyes met. An imposing guard stood there, staring him down. Bai Jin's brows furrowed in cautious thought. A C-rank professional guarding an appraisal shop? Zhuo Ta sized him up and let out a sneering laugh. Another one here for a beating. Kid, since you're here, I assume you've read the rules. He then gestured towards the array in front of them and explained, solve the spirit power array my master set up, and the shop will appraise your items for free. If you can't solve it. As he spoke, Zhuo Ta cracked his knuckles menacingly. You'll have to take 3 hits from me. Bai Jin slowly and meticulously examined the array. This spirit power array? Zhuo Ta kept taunting him from the side. If you regret it now, you can get the hell out and avoid the 3 punches. And I said, get out, not walk out. Looking completely calm, Bai Jin replied coolly, your master sure has a unique way of doing business. It's obvious. She needs help, but she's still putting on this arrogant act. Instantly, Zhuo Ta flew into a rage and grabbed Bai Jin by the collar. Kid, what bullshit are you spewing? He threatened. You dare talk about my master like that? You got a death wish? From behind a screen, Zhuo Ying heard this and gasped to herself. What? He? Bai Jin's voice was low as he analyzed. This spirit power array is incredibly rare. It can help a mage with a special talent prevent their spirit power from going haywire when they level up. However, the energy on this diagram is a bit dim and murky. It seems the person who created this array is having problems with their own spirit power circulation. Bai Jin continued bluntly, the value of solving this array is far greater than getting a few items appraised for free. You people are running quite a scam. Ridiculous. Veins popped on Zhuo Ta's forehead as he roared with fury. You dare insult my master? Let me show you how I deal with trash like you. Completely unfazed, Bai Jin smirked and asked, your master, whenever she cultivates by absorbing the light of the stargates, does she suffer from convulsions and agonizing pain all over her body? Her spirit power is running rampant. That's a sign that death is near, so you should probably start preparing for her funeral. Enraged to the breaking point, Zhuo Ta drew back his fist to smash Bai Jin, yelling, you rotten punk, how dare you curse my master? You're tired of living. Zhuo Ta, stop, a voice commanded. Confused, Zhuo Ta looked back over his shoulder. Master, why? He stammered. The mysterious Zhuo Ying emerged from behind the screen. If you can solve this spirit power array, I will reward you handsomely. Instantly, Zhuo Ta stepped back respectfully. Master, this kid was saying. Model. Really? Bai Kim scoffed, not backing down. Is that how you ask for a favor? And with that, he turned to leave. Like master, like servant. Go on, just wait for your doom. Trakthap quickly ran to block Bai Kim's path. You can't leave. Suddenly sensing something strange, Trakthap was at a loss for words. Radiating a powerful aura, Bai Kim shot back in a firm voice. What? You really want to throw down? Thap's face suddenly went pale, his jaw tightening. How could this kid's aura be so terrifying? He's clearly just E rank, so why do I feel this mountain-like pressure? Thap hurriedly bowed his head, begging for forgiveness. Sir, please forgive me. My attitude was out of line. I beg you, please help my master. Bai Kim coldly reminded him. If a simple sorry could solve everything, there wouldn't be any grudges or revenge in this world. Bai Kim decisively threw the door open and walked out. Thap was sweating bullets, gritting his teeth in resignation. Then, he tumbled forward, rolling out the door. In front of countless witnesses, Thap desperately knelt at Bai Kim's feet. Isn't this the appraisal shop with that badass guard? He's always the one kicking people out, so why is he the one on the ground this time? Thap actually kowtowed, pleading, Sir, I was wrong. Please forgive me. The surrounding crowd was completely stunned. What? Am I seeing things? That demon guard is actually bowing and admitting he's wrong. Who the hell is that kid? Seeing Thap groveling, Bai Kim remained silent. Just then, Doan finally revealed herself, speaking gently. Sir, please forgive me and my subordinate for our rudeness. With a solemn gesture, Doan bowed respectfully. Please accept our sincere apology. Bai Kim's eyes never left Doan, his lips moving slightly as countless memories flooded back. In Bai Kim's mind, Comrade, next time you come to my city, I'll treat you right. It's a promise. Bai Kim recalled the old image he once admired. What a long-lost memory, back when I was an A-rank profession holder. The teammate I went through life and death with. He looked at the woman before him, an undeniable sense of familiarity washing over him. Is this girl her descendant? He then asked the girl, What's your name? The girl bowed her head respectfully and introduced herself. Sir, my name is Doan. If you can solve the core problem I'm facing, I will reward you handsomely. Hearing her name, Bai Kim silently confirmed his suspicions. He then opened the door for Doan to enter. I can help you, but you pay first. Appraise these items, and get me everything on this list. Recalling his earlier conversation with Thap, who seemed worried. That kid is so young, and he's not even a mage-type profession holder. Can he really cure you, my lady? What if he's an assassin sent by the clan? Or wants to harm you? Or maybe he's just a con artist? But Doan was quite sure of her decision. My illness has always been a secret that only I knew. Yet this person knew everything with just one look, describing it in such detail as if he'd seen it with his own eyes. He's definitely no ordinary person. Thap couldn't help but remain suspicious, but her expression was now dead serious. She told him, Thap, you know our situation in the clan. Once someone in the family finds out about my condition, what do you think will happen? Seeing Doan's determination, he didn't dare to object any further. His master had to explain her reasoning. I have no other choice. As long as there's even a sliver of a chance to be cured, I have to take it. Thap had no choice but to agree and step outside. Back in the present, Bai Kim and Doan were sitting across from each other. He didn't waste any words and got straight to the point. Let's cut the crap and get started. Hearing Bai Kim's words, she removed her outer layer of clothing, leaving only her undergarment on. At that moment, Doan asked Bai Kim with an embarrassed look, Sir, is this okay? Without another word, he used his eyes to assess Doan's condition. Bai Kim saw a strange array. There are many types of spiritual power arrays, some for combat, others for support. Mages, who are physically weak, need special auxiliary spiritual power arrays when they level up to channel the intense flow of spiritual power in their bodies. After a moment of observation, Bai Kim seemed to confirm his suspicions, just as I thought. Doan looked utterly astonished. After hearing the name of her supposed illness, Spirit Rune Array Formation, her face was full of confusion. Spirit Rune Array Formation? What kind of illness is that? Bai Kim's expression grew serious. You don't know? He began to explain to her. The Spirit Rune Array Formation is a type of talent, a gold-grade profession holder's talent. But this kind of talent doesn't awaken right from the start. It has to reach D rank or higher before it has a chance to manifest. Doan's expression slowly turned to shock. What? A gold-grade talent? So my illness was actually a sign of the Spirit Rune Array Formation transforming? Hearing this, Bai Kim explained further. The Spirit Rune Array Formation is extremely rare, usually inherited from an ancestor. Your lineage must have had a grand mage, with a gold-grade talent. His mind was racing. Although the Spirit Rune Array Formation is rare, for a descendant, her background? Why have I never heard of it? Doan then recounted her family's history. My great ancestress was, in fact, an archmage when she was alive. Not long ago, she was fatally wounded fighting a terrifying monster and passed away. A lot of her teachings were lost with her. Hearing that his former comrade was gone, Bach Kim felt a pang of sadness. He closed his eyes to collect himself. The dead can't talk, so he decided to just teach Trak Doan how to heal herself. I'll teach you a skill to channel your spirit power. The 3 forms of spirit aura. Train hard, and you'll restore your spirit rune matrix soon enough. Your physical wounds will heal on their own after that. Bach Kim's thoughts were a mess. The 3 forms of spirit aura was his own secret technique. Asterisk. Looks like I'm passing it on now. Asterisk. Meanwhile, Trak Doan was overwhelmed with gratitude. Thank you, Master Bach Kim. Outside, Trak Thop heard the strange noises and couldn't help but worry. Inside, Trak Doan was concentrating so hard she was drenched in sweat. The seal on Bach Kim's chest. He watched her, a little puzzled. Asterisk. This girl's comprehension is way worse than mine was back in the day. Asterisk. Asterisk. It took her nearly 2 hours to grasp the key to the 3 forms of spirit aura. Then again, that's probably normal for most people. Asterisk. Just then, a dazzling orb of light flew out from the seal. He stared at it, stunned. What is this? Without a second thought, he inhaled the orb. Asterisk. When I convert the spirit rune matrix, it'll draw out spirit power. This thing could be a huge help. Asterisk. Bach Kim then reached out, grabbing the nearby spirit stones to refine them. He absorbed the crystal in his hand, and it crumbled into dust. A mid-grade dark crystal, gone, just like that. Bach Kim was feeling a lot more confident now. Asterisk. Looks like with this girl's divine spurred spirit power helping me, my absorption speed for mid-grade dark crystals has increased by 10 times. Asterisk. Asterisk. Now, this is an unexpected bonus. Asterisk. Bach Kim reached out his hand, planning to absorb all the remaining crystals. Refining all of these mid-grade dark crystals should be enough for me to break through. Time to level up to a D-rank practitioner. After a moment, he focused on absorbing all the stones. Boundless energy technique. Absorb it all for me. Asterisk. As long as I'm strong enough, all my current problems will be solved. Asterisk. Suddenly, something sharp sliced past his face. It left a small cut on his cheek, followed by a barrage of crystal shards that embedded themselves all over his body. Asterisk. Crap. I forgot. My current body isn't strong enough. I have no way to absorb all this energy. Asterisk. Bach Kim had to think of a way to stop it. Asterisk. If this keeps up, my body's going to explode. Asterisk. Then suddenly, he realized something. He looked over at the concentrating Trak Doan. Bach Kim had no choice but to take a massive gamble. Asterisk. Guess I'll have to risk it. Asterisk. Bach Kim calmly worked to keep the energy flowing from Trak Doan from spiraling out of control. He raised 2 fingers, readying his stance, as sparks from his boundless energy technique flickered around him. Bach Kim then clasped his hands together, forming a seal to rein in the power that was rapidly going haywire. The chi-formed spirit threads inside the formation were also clashing violently. Spirit threads. Connect. Construct the diagram. Now. Bach Kim deployed the formation diagram to suppress the spirit power radiating from Trak Doan. Concealment formation diagram. A moment later, his body was completely drained. Sweat poured endlessly down his face. Only then did Bach Kim dare to relax before turning to Trak Doan. It's a success. Using the principles of the spirit cloud matrix, I've imprinted this power diagram onto your body. This way, you can not only avoid danger, but you can also draw upon the energy in the formation whenever you want. Think of it as a portable copy of the spirit cloud matrix. After explaining, Bach Kim heaved a sigh of relief. Asterisk. That was a lesson. Seems my mentality hasn't adapted to my current body yet. I have to remember that. Asterisk. Asterisk. If I made a mistake like that in a real fight, I'd just end up as Monster Chow. Asterisk. Trak Doan also let out a long sigh, as if a massive burden had been lifted, a burden she had been carrying for so long. Her expression was bright and cheerful now as she eagerly shared the news with Bach Kim. My chaotic spirit power diagram is completely fixed. My spirit power is surging too. I'm about to become a C-rank practitioner. Overcome with joy, Trak Doan lunged forward and hugged Bach Kim, causing the unprepared boy to blush beet red. Thank you so much, Master Bach Kim. Outside, a suspicious Trak Thop could wait no longer and entered, only to walk in on the awkward scene. Put on your clothes. What in the world is going on here? But after hearing the full story, Trak Thop immediately fell to his knees. Master Bach Kim. He was profoundly grateful to him for healing his young miss. Thank you for healing my master. I dared to doubt your methods earlier. I was truly blind. Please, punish me for my insolence. Bach Kim saw Trak Thop in a new light. Asterisk. So this guy is actually incredibly loyal to his master. Asterisk. He told Trak Thop to stand up. then got straight to the point. Get up. I didn't do this for free. Where's my payment? Without a word, Trokthop presented a large box. These are the items you requested from the list. Also, this dagger has been appraised. Bai Kim opened the box and began inspecting the contents. The materials to repair the armor were pretty much all here. Suddenly, his eyes landed on the obsidian fang dagger. Bronze grade. A bronze dagger. The quality is just so-so, but hey, it's better than nothing. Bai Kim picked up the dagger and examined it. Kinda nostalgic. I used to wear epic grade divine gear. Suddenly, the dagger flew into his pants pocket, startling him. The other two couldn't help but stare, their jaws on the floor. Could that be a spatial inventory item? Not even B-rank powerhouses have those. Seeing their bewildered expressions, Bai Kim couldn't help but ask, "What's wrong with you two?" Sensing the awkwardness, Juota quickly waved his hands. "It's nothing, nothing. Sir Bai Kim, you are truly a master." After that, Bai Kim left, while the other two gratefully bowed to him. Up ahead, a crowd was gathering. Seeing Zhu Ying escorting him out, they started whispering, "What's going on? How did that kid get the beauty from the appraisal shop to see him off personally?" The crowd was shocked by the scene, buzzing with discussion. How is that possible? That's my goddess. And she's into that Bai Kim punk? Damn it, isn't he just a pretty boy? I'm kinda jealous too. Bai Kim didn't have time to care about such comments. He was just happy that this trip had been a huge success. But, feels like I forgot something. Suddenly, he slapped his forehead as he remembered. Oh, right, the Triant's food. Little Moo, inside his space, seemed to be starving and wanted out. Seeing the chaotic scene as Little Moo emerged, Bai Kim was both shocked and helpless. A Triant? It can go inside a spatial bag? By now, Little Moo was apparently so hungry, it had devoured all the potions Zhuo Ying had given him. A satisfied look was even plastered on Little Moo's face. When Bai Kim realized what potions Little Moo was chugging, his face twisted in shock. The spirit power potions I just got. A while later, Bai Kim walked into the main hall of the Dawn City Warriors Guild, still reeling from what just happened. I can't believe the Triant's food is spirit power potions. For me, right now, a single bottle of that stuff is incredibly expensive. This little guy treats them like snacks. What a money pit. But for some reason, Bai Kim wasn't upset. In fact, a hint of excitement showed on his face. Still, if this guy eats potions for breakfast, I'm actually kinda looking forward to seeing how it turns out once it grows up. S-rank missions are the ones with the big rewards. Suddenly, Duan Cha approached him, holding a mission flyer. Bai Kim, perfect timing. It's the Genius Professional Exchange event, co-hosted by the Knights Guild and the Warriors Guild. I got you a spot. Before he could even finish, Bai Kim flatly refused and turned away, not interested. What Genius Professional event? It's just a get-together for a bunch of noobs. I have no interest in joining. He knew exactly what his current goal was. Besides, the prize money for this exchange was pathetically small. But Bai Kim couldn't help but glance at the competition's rewards. 1 million and 10 boxes of spirit power potions. Seeing the prize, he paused for a moment. Without another word, Bai Kim snatched the flyer right out of Duancha's hand. Brother Duancha, I can't possibly betray your kindness. I will definitely take first place in this exchange for the honor of our Warriors Guild. Seeing him so fired up, Duancha offered some advice. First place? Bai Kim, you just became a professional. Don't get ahead of yourself. The people participating are all elites, with 2 or 3 years of real combat experience. I got you this opportunity so you could interact with other geniuses and gain some practical experience. Bai Kim didn't say much, just took the paper and started to leave. I know, Boss Duancha. As he left, the man called out a final reminder. Be careful not to get hurt, and don't be too flashy. Meanwhile, inside a room, several people were discussing him, including Song Qian's crew. That's right. According to our intel, his brother, Luo Song, had a conflict with him in the party right before he died. Chen Guan added cautiously. The wounds on his body don't look like they were caused by a monster. They look more like they came from a sharp weapon. Either way, that kid is the most suspicious. In the room was another mysterious figure, who confirmed Chen Guan's judgment. That's how it is. He killed my brother. I'll make him pay with his life. Hearing this, the other two smirked. That Bai Kim brat is a dead man walking. Dawn City Professional Arena. A friendly exchange for genius. Professionals from various guilds. The rules. Participants must be under 20 years old and have demonstrated outstanding achievements. Furthermore, the professional's talent must be silver grade or higher. It seemed that for this competition, Bai Kim was completely confident of his victory. Though Dawn City wasn't huge, its arena was quite impressive. When people around saw him, they couldn't help but gossip. Is that the kid who's rumored to have a gold rank talent? Seeing Bai Kim standing there quietly, they kept sizing him up. I hope I get matched against that kid in the tournament. We love nothing more than knocking these so-called geniuses down a peg. At that moment on the arena floor, the referee steps forward to make an announcement. Almost everyone is here, so today's exchange event will now officially begin. Members of the Warrior and Knight Associations will take the stage to spar, in the order determined by the cards in your hands. And the first one up is Bai Kim. Down in the crowd, Lin Shi and Xie Gong are completely stunned. Xie Gong says to Lin Shi, "Hey, isn't that Bai Kim?" "Yeah." Xie Gong's face is full of doubt. That kid just became a profession holder, and he's already joining this tournament? He's got some serious guts. Isn't he afraid of getting crushed? The match begins, with Bai Kim facing off against his opponent. The guy is decked out in full gear. Seeing this, Xie Gong continues his trash talk. "Called it. This kid's luck is even worse than I thought. Going up against an opponent like that right off the bat, he's gonna get wrecked." Seeing how weak Bai Kim looked, his opponent started taunting him. "My luck's not bad at all. My first opponent is a total noob. Kid, let me teach you how brutal this elite tournament can be." But not even 2 seconds later, Ba Pei gets a fist to the face before he can even react. Bai Kim couldn't be bothered with a scrub like him. After all, he knew that prize money was his for the taking. The meathead sure talked a big game. With a single punch, he sent flying completely off the stage, tumbling several times. Refusing to accept it, he struggles back to his feet. "Ow, that hurts." The audience is now in shock at Bai Kim's power. What? One punch? Ba Pei is furious, feeling completely humiliated. His face twists with killing intent as he glares at Bai Kim. "You damn brat. You dare sucker punch me when I wasn't ready. I'm gonna knock all your teeth out for that." Bai Kim has no idea what this idiot is rambling about. A sucker punch? This scrub can only come up with lame excuses like that. Suddenly, Bai Kim senses a wave of killing intent from the stands. This is killing intent. 2 of them. He immediately recognizes the source of one of the hostile auras aimed at him. One is familiar. It's Song Qian. The other one is strange and incredibly intense. Who the hell could it be? Up on the stage, his opponent can't contain his rage and charges forward with his sword. "Bai Kim, let me show you the true power of an E-rank knight." Without another word, he swings his sword down on Bai Kim. Sword strike. Bai Kim had no intention of dragging this out with a noob. He coats his fist in flames. "Get the hell off my stage." With that, Bai Kim throws a powerful punch straight into the guy's sword, knocking it completely off its trajectory. The crowd below watches this scene unfold in utter disbelief. What? He's not using a weapon? He's meeting a knight's sword with his bare fist? He's insane. Before a second blow could even be thrown, Bai Kim sends him flying even farther than before. He soars into the stands, crying out in pain, "I'm dead. How is his punch so damn strong?" The referee immediately jumps in to announce, the winner, from the Warrior Association, is Bai Kim. The same people who were looking down on Bai Kim now finally realize his true power. He seriously blocked a knight's sword with his fist. I heard that player Bai Kim just became a profession holder not too long ago. Now that's a real genius. Lin Shi, who had been watching the match, blushes as she praises him. Brother Bai is as badass as ever. Even Xie Gong had to give him some credit. Little golden boy. His talent must be body enhancement, right? Just from that one match, he was able to analyze Bai Kim's strengths. In close combat, he accurately struck the knight's sword with his fist. Relying on his immense explosive power, he used his body to win with a single punch. His combat instincts are terrifying. Xie Gong also takes this opportunity to remind Lin Shi, "Lin Shi, you and Bai Kim became profession holders at the same time. Plus, you both awakened a golden talent. You have to work hard and make sure you don't fall behind." But her mind was filled with nothing but Bai Kim's image. Forget falling behind. I'd be happy just to be able to see Brother Bai's back from a distance. Meanwhile, on the other side, the mysterious man had already set his plan in motion. A plan specifically for Bai Kim, defeating an E-rank knight in one blow. "So you're the one who killed my older brother. It really is you, Bai Kim. Just you wait for me." The second match begins, but the script is the same as the first. He ends it with a single blow. By the fourth match, he was so bored, he decided to play with his opponent a bit, making him trip and fall off the stage on his own. After his fights are over, Bai Kim walks out without a hint of fatigue. Everyone is buzzing about his performance. Look at that guy. He must be relying on a golden talent that instantly enhances his body to win against higher level opponents, right? If I had a golden talent, I'd be even more outstanding than that kid. That brat just got lucky. Being able to get a golden talent. Hearing the whispers around him, Bai Kim speaks up to shut them down. Stop your pathetic whispering behind my back. Think about your own futures for a second. Why didn't the golden grade heroic spirit choose any of you? Was it really just luck? Seeing the crowd go silent, Bai Kim lets out a contemptuous smirk. Excellent. It seems they all think my golden talent is body enhancement. This is exactly the effect I wanted. The referee steps up to announce the next fight. Next match, contestants prepare. Warrior Association's Bai Kim versus the Knight Association's Luo Wei. Bai Kim steps onto the stage, and across from him stands the masked man who wants him dead. To avenge his brother, Laui of the Knights Guild enters the ring, his face mysteriously hidden. The genius of the Knights Guild, Laui. This is going to be a good fight. He suddenly whips off the cloth, hiding his face, and the crowd goes wild. I heard his older brother, La Sung, was also a high-ranking knight with a bright future. Both brothers were famous. Pfft, you're out of the loop. La Sung was killed in action. Besides, even if he were alive, he was nothing special. The only reason he even reached E rank was because his genius little brother got him cultivation resources from the Knights Guild. Despite hearing the whispers, his expression doesn't change. He just glares down at Bak Kim. Everyone's betting on Laui, and the crowd is roaring for him. Lau, teach that new warrior a lesson. Knock his teeth out, ha. This Bak Kim's luck has run out. Go Laui, beat him into a pulp. Down below, Ta Kung seems to know the outcome already. Laui, the prize genius of the Knights Guild. Looks like this Bak Kim's winning streak ends here. This Laui is no joke, but Bak Kim's expression is now filled with killing intent aimed right back at Laui, La Sung's younger brother, Laui. So that's what this is about. He then glares at Bak Kim and asks a question. You're Bak Kim? My brother was La Sung. You remember him, don't you? Not long ago, that knight was on the same professional team as you. Bak Kim just cleans his ear, acting like he doesn't care. La Sung? Name doesn't ring a bell. Then, a smirk plays on his face as he pretends to remember. Oh, right. I remember now. You mean that piece of trash who got mind-controlled by a Triant and was then torn apart? Hearing that, Laui completely snaps. You dare insult my brother. I'm not letting you walk out of here alive. The crowd feels a terrifying aura explode from him. What an intense holy knight. Laui's power is far beyond that of a normal E-rank knight. Even Ta Kung has to admit, his spiritual power has actually reached peak E-rank. He'll probably break through to D rank in less than 2 months. There's no way to win. This Bak Kim guy is toast. Hearing this, Lam K looks a little worried for Bak Kim. Really? I don't think Brother Bak is that simple. Meanwhile, Tong Tien is secretly thrilled. Looks like Lau will definitely be able to eliminate this Bak Kim punk, right? Then I can finally sleep peacefully. Without another word, Laui charges at Bak Kim. I'll turn you into a pincushion. Laui unleashes an E-rank skill. The spectators gasp when they see his move. That's the Holy Lance Barrage. The damage from his onslaught is like a relentless wave. He's clearly reached the mastery level. He truly is a genius among professional knights. That E-rank skill is notoriously hard to learn, let alone master to this degree. But against these attacks, Bak Kim dodges them all with a slight tilt of his body. Your spear technique does have some bite to it, but that's all it is. With that, he seizes an opening and counters with his sword. Instantly, the tip of his sword and the point of the spear clash repeatedly. The sight leaves everyone speechless. What? The edge of his sword is deflecting the spearhead? How is that possible? The two are fighting ferociously in the ring, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. He dodged every single one. That kid Bak Kim's control over his mana is incredibly precise. Is he really a rookie? Seeing her senior like this, Lam K is filled with admiration. Brother Bak, you're as badass as I thought. Up on the stage, the two continue their relentless assault. After one exchange, Laui is knocked back, but manages to keep his balance. You bastard. His swordsmanship is insane. Bak Kim's face is now one of pure, challenging confidence. So, my sword isn't so easy to handle, is it? Lau realizes he's completely underestimated his opponent and points a finger at him. Damn it. You just became a professional. How can you be this strong? Realizing he can't beat Bak Kim in a straight fight, he decides to go all out. But if this is how it ends, I'm taking you to hell with me. Laui seizes the chance to pop a rage spirit elixir into his mouth. Instantly, a surge of power courses through his body. A golden energy erupts, enveloping Laui's body. The shockwave is so massive, it covers nearly half the arena. This makes Ta Kung leap to his feet in alarm. This is bad. Laui took a forbidden drug. His power just skyrocketed. He's reached D rank. That kid is in real danger. I have to get ready to save him. Otherwise, he'll hate my guts forever. With his life on the line, Laui manifests a ferocious beast of energy and sends it charging at Bai Kim. Bai Kim, die for me. Everyone around is terrified by the sheer pressure radiating from Laui's power. Laui's spear is insane, but Bai Kim isn't scared at all. He just gets into a stance, ready to receive the blow. Bring it on. Seeing this, even Ta Kung is horrified. Dodge it. Don't throw your life away. Lam He, on the side, is also extremely worried. Brother Bach, be careful, but Tong Tian is gloating internally. Yes, that punk is dead for sure, but with just a simple block, Bai Kim completely parries Laui's attack. The ground beneath them is utterly destroyed, but in an instant, the moment Bai Kim's sword gave out, it spiderwebbed with cracks and instantly shattered. Seizing the opportunity, Laui thrusts his spear straight at Bai Kim. He smirks internally. It's over. My spear is enough to finish this brat. I've won. I've avenged my brother. But what he doesn't realize is that his spear never even touched Bai Kim. What the hell? It won't pierce through? A defensive seal flares to life, blocking the attack. The spear is stopped cold. Bai Kim looks at him, oozing with confidence. Laui, did you really think I wouldn't notice your cheap tricks? You secretly popped that pill the second you stepped on stage. I felt your aura change. Laui is floored. He can't believe his perfectly hidden ace was discovered. How did you find out? And my spear. What's happening? His face twists in terror as he realizes he can't let go of his own weapon. My hand. It's glued to the spear. Bai Kim is done playing around. A terrifying seriousness flashes in his eyes. Now, it's my turn. Getting his hands on Laui's spear was the final catalyst needed to complete his cultivation of the Tao spirit. Formation diagram. While Laui desperately tries to yank his spear back, Bai Kim focuses, using the immeasurable Qi art to absorb the explosive burst of spiritual power. Suddenly, the arena isn't just lit up by Laui's aura anymore. A second pillar of light erupts from Bai Kim, shocking everyone below. Holy crap, what's happening? Is that energy coming from Bai Kim? Flames swirl around him as he prepares to end the match with a single, devastating blow. This is the true power of his full profession awakening. Even under immense pressure, he's able to level up mid-fight. In a flash, a storm of fists rains down on Laui, giving him no time to defend himself. Then, Bai Kim unleashes a final, badass finishing move, blasting Laui clear out of the ring. He goes flying, slamming straight into a massive wall and shattering it on impact. Seeing that Laui is completely out for the count, the crowd starts buzzing. Laui was utterly crushed. Below, Tong Tian can't believe his eyes. His face pales. How is this possible? Bai Kim stands on the stage like an SSS-Grade War God and calls out the referee. That kid's down. Looks like he's all out of fight. You should probably declare the winner. The referee assesses the situation for a moment, then announces, contestant. Bai Kim, that was excessively brutal. Bai Kim just explains, my apologies. I just didn't expect a guy who cheats by using forbidden drugs to be so damn useless. Besides, my power just flared up on the battlefield. For a few minutes, I couldn't control the energy surge. I'll be more careful next time. The referee starts to wonder about Bai Kim's true strength. This kid, didn't he just join the association? That power spike just now. Wasn't that way beyond E rank? That was definitely D rank. Laui starts to come to, struggling to his feet. You bastard. But on his chest, a strange seal appears. Instantly, the seal detonates, making Laui cough up blood and completely neutralizing him. Seeing this, Bai Kim quietly leaves the stage. He never shows mercy to his enemies, but that punk Laui might still be useful, so he left him his life. The referee, seeing the critical situation, quickly calls for medics. Bai Kim walks confidently out of the arena. Everyone's perception of him has been flipped on its head. Bai Kim is truly the genius who possesses the golden talent. The Warriors Association really hit the jackpot with him. At the Warriors Association headquarters, Duanji is looking pretty worried about Bai Kim. Damn that guildmaster, calling me out of my seclusion. The Genius Exchange event is already halfway done. I'd better go check on things. I hope that kid Bai Kim hasn't gotten himself into any trouble. But Chen Guan is already there, lying in wait. Perfect. That fool finally came out of the guildmaster's seclusion chamber. By my calculations, that brat Bai Kim should be taken care of by now. If I handle Duanji at this moment, it's killing two birds with one stone. Suddenly, a large group of people surrounds Duanji. He looks over at Chen Guan and asks, Chen Guan, What's going on? Chen Guan's face is a mask of fury as he screams at Duan Ji. Duan Ji, our guild's new genius, Bai Kim, just joined recently. Not only did you fail to protect him, you let him participate in that damn talent exchange event? Do you have any idea his opponents have years of fighting experience? Well, it's too late. Now, I just received news that Bai Kim was killed during the event. The terrible news hits Duan Ji like a lightning bolt. What? Bai Kim is dead? Chen Guan's expression shifts to a chilling calm as he gives the order. Men, arrest Duan Ji. I now suspect that he intentionally plotted to have our association's genius murdered. We must investigate this thoroughly and get revenge for our fallen talent. Meanwhile, back at the arena, the referee is solemnly announcing the winner of this year's Genius Exchange. The atmosphere is electric. Some people are confused. The representative from the Warriors Association, contestant Bai Kim, the crowd erupts into a flurry of discussion. That Bai Kim is only 18 years old. Is he the genius with the golden talent? He became a professional less than a month ago, and he's already taken first place in the Genius Exchange tournament? This was a new record. Bai Jin was a bit let down, thinking that breaking it would get him a bigger reward. Turns out, it wasn't much more at all. The organizers are real cheapskates. Still, with these rewards, at least Little Spirit Tree has enough to eat. Of course, that's only for now. Not far away, Xie Gong had been watching him the whole time. This kid is full of surprises. To think he completely crushed everyone to take first place. The Warriors Guild has found a real gem. Lin Shi, you also possess a gold tier talent. You need to step up. She blushed slightly and replied, I understand. Thank you, Steward Gong. His expression suddenly turned serious. With a performance like that, the Warriors Guild might just bend the rules and let Bai Jin join the upcoming Dawn Bastion. Lin Si was shocked. The Dawn Bastion? That can't be right, can it, Brother Bai? Bai Jin just became a professional. Sending him to a trial like that is way too dangerous. Xie Gong was serious, clearly holding Bai Jin in high regard. A diamond in the rough must be polished. As professionals, only by taking on high-level challenges can we grow quickly. If that kid were in the Archers Guild, I'd bend the rules myself to get him in. Meanwhile, on the ride back to the guild, Bai Jin took out some food for Little Wood from his spatial bag. The little guy happily munched on its favorite snack. Bai Jin then glanced down at his spatial bag. This thing is ugly as hell. I've got to get a new one when I have time. The Warriors Guild probably doesn't know I took first place yet. If I go back now and surprise Steward Duan Jia, I might be able to score some extra perks. The curious driver asked, Hey, little brother Bai Jin, how come you're out of the arena so early? Was the tournament a bust? Bai Jin casually replied, The tournament's over, so of course I'm heading back. The driver was taken aback. Over? No way. Previous tournaments lasted until at least midnight, sometimes even later. So, who took the top spot this time? Bai Jin rested his chin on his hand and said nonchalantly, I did. Hearing this, the driver was even more skeptical. Oh, is that so? Congrats, he thought to himself. This kid probably got crushed by all those geniuses. Now he's heading back to the Warriors Guild for double the training, I bet. The car sped towards the guild, accompanied by the driver's sigh. Sometimes, raw talent is just something hard work can't make up for. Finally, they arrived. Bai Jin stepped out of the car. He saw the crowd and got a bad feeling. These were members of the Dawn City Enforcement Squad. What happened at the Warriors Guild? Inside, Duanjia and the others were in a standoff with the treacherous Chen Guan. He announced that Duanjia was suspected of plotting to assassinate the warrior genius, Bai Jin. And you all are still defending him? Are you trying to defy the laws of Dawn City? The other guild members stood their ground, shouting, Nonsense! Steward Duanjia has always cherished and protected our guild's geniuses. Why would he ever try to harm one? Members of the enforcement squad, Steward Duanjia is clearly being framed. Please don't just listen to one side. But Fang Quan, the captain of the squad, coldly ignored their pleas. That's right. Don't be fooled by his kind act. We know he's secretly working for someone else in the shadows. His eyes were sharp and cold. We received intel that Bai Jin died during the Genius Tournament. Therefore, the evidence of Duanjia's plot against Bai Jin is undeniable. If you continue to resist, don't blame me for what happens next. His subordinates moved forward, ready to use force. Duanjia, worried that Fang Quan would harm his guildmates, reluctantly agreed to go. Everyone, stand down. My conscience is clear in this matter. I trust the enforcement department will make a just decision. If you resist now, you'll just be playing into their hands and giving them a chance to tarnish the Warriors Guild's honor. With that, they seized him and began to lead him away. Chen Guan sneered triumphantly. You're smarter than you look. But this crime wasn't my idea. No one can clear your name now. But as he gloated, a fist of fire came flying from behind him. It sent him flying headfirst into a cabinet. Chen Guan coughed up blood, weakly pushing himself up. "You're openly obstructing the enforcement squad. Captain Feng, arrest them all." Duanjia and his guildmates were stunned. So was Fang Quan. Both sides asked in unison, "Who was that?" Then, a cold, familiar voice rang out. "Chen Guan, I haven't even settled the score with you for last time, and now you're here spreading fake news." Bai Jin looked down at him, kneeling on the floor, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "You dare spread rumors that I'm dead? Chen Guan, open your damn dog eyes and look. Your master Bai Jin is still alive and kicking." Duanjia was overjoyed to see him safe. "Bai Jin, you kid. You're okay. This is fantastic. Did you leave the tournament halfway through?" By now, Fang Quan had also spotted Bai Jin, and he started to sweat. "So this kid times Bai Jin. This is bad. That damn Chen Guan acted so confident, but who knew he was so utterly unreliable?" Chen Guan stared at him, completely shell-shocked. "Bai Jin, you brat. How can you still be alive? You were supposed to be dead." Model. The moment he said it, he slapped a hand over his mouth. "Crap, I messed up." At that moment, the guild members were absolutely furious. So it really was that punk Tran Quan pulling the strings. In this unexpected situation, Fuang Tuan cursed Tran Quan under his breath. "You absolute moron. Gotta think of a way out of this." He quickly composed himself, puffing out his chest to explain. "You participated in the Genius Exchange Tournament, a severe violation of the rules. The Professional Alliance is a dangerous and unpredictable place. It's a miracle you sensed the danger and managed to escape with your life. As for Tran Quan, my enforcement department will launch an investigation. Take Tran Quan away." Bai Kim shot him a look of pure contempt. "Who told you I escaped and came back?" The surrounding crowd began to whisper amongst themselves. "Escaped and came back? Judging by the time, the tournament should only be halfway through." Just then, someone burst through the door excitedly. "Breaking news. Our warrior guild's own genius, Bai Kim, didn't just win first place, he shattered the record in half the allotted time. He's brought incredible glory to our warrior guild." The man suddenly froze when he saw the tense atmosphere. What's going on here?" The entire warrior guild hall erupted. "What? Bai Kim took first place and broke the record?" Bai Kim leveled a glare at Tran Quan. "Steward Doan, Track and I have been investigating you for a while. I never thought you'd have the guts to retaliate. Today, we settle the score." Tran Quan stumbled back until he hit a cabinet. No, this is impossible." He cracked his knuckles, ready to throw down. "Tran Quan, that little scheme where you used Kai Quian to frame me with that tattered scroll? Steward Doan Track already found out everything." Suddenly, a powerful surge of spiritual energy made Bai Kim pause. Before he could make a move, Fuang Taoan lunged forward, stabbing Tran Quan in the back, leaving him utterly shocked. "You, young brother Bai Kim is right. Today is the day we settle things with Tran Quan." He narrowed his eyes, watching the man warily. From a window above, Bai Kim observed the chaos, reflecting on what had just transpired. "I can't believe the captain of the enforcement team, Laminthan, was in on it with Tran Quan. Extortion. It seems the force backing these traitors is far more powerful than I anticipated." He gazed out the villa window at the injured being treated below. He wondered, what was the secret about my predecessor's parents that was worth all this scheming? Doan Track stood beside Bai Kim, reassuring him. "Bai Kim, don't worry. As soon as the guildmaster comes out of his seclusion, he will launch a thorough investigation into this matter." He then suddenly placed a hand on his shoulder. Doan Track turned to look at Bai Kim with an intense, admiring gaze that left the boy confused. "Steward Doan Track, what's this about?" The man let out a hearty laugh. "Bai Kim, I have seriously underestimated you. To think you could shatter the record at the Genius Exchange Tournament after just half a month." Suddenly, the pain from Doan Track's wound flared up again. He cried out, "Ugh, my wound, the pain is killing me." Bai Kim was completely speechless. He advised him, "Steward Doan Track, you should probably try not to get so excited. You're still injured, you know. Just give me the first place prize from the tournament, and you can focus on recovering." The steward leaned in and whispered sheepishly to Bai Kim, "You little brat, all you can talk about is the prize money. You really expect me to just hand it over? Relax, you'll get every bit of your reward. I kept you here for a more important reason." Bai Kim was puzzled by his words, so he asked, "An important reason?" Just then, the door behind them swung open. A beautiful woman entered. It was the steward's assistant, Tu Nam. She walked in carrying a box and announced, "Steward, Doan Track, what you requested has been prepared." He turned back to Bai Kim. Given that you took first place at the Genius Exchange tournament, your strength is undeniable. However, the matter I need to discuss is extremely critical. So first, we need to test your spiritual power level. Hearing that, Bai Kim simply nodded. All right. Nam opened the box, revealing a crystal orb inside. Doan Trak explained to Bai Kim, "This is a crystal that can test the talent level of a professional." Then he urged him, "Go ahead, proceed with the test." Bai Kim stepped forward and placed his hand on the orb, causing it to emit a blue energy. The blue light then shifted, transforming into a brilliant, blinding gold. Both Doan Trak and Nam gasped in absolute awe. That blinding, golden light. It's really golden talent. Holy crap, a gift worthy of a future SSS-Grade War God. Then, the orb displayed the final result. D-rank warrior. Doan Trak praised Bai Kim. "Incredible kid. I can't believe in such a short amount of time, you've already leveled up to a D-rank professional." Nam couldn't hide her astonishment either. "He's a true prodigy." The steward couldn't stop gushing. "A D-rank professional with golden talent. That's more than enough." Not quite understanding, Bai Kim asked him again. "Steward Doan Trak, what exactly is this important matter? Can you finally tell me now?" He looked at the boy seriously and replied, "You've heard of the Lemin Bastion trial, correct? Initially, I was hesitant to even bring this up to you, but now that you're D-rank and possess golden talent, you finally have the power to protect yourself." Those words sent Bai Kim into deep thought. The Lemin Bastion trial. Huh? His predecessor's greatest dream was to awaken his profession, dominate that very trial, and become a living legend in Lemin City. An image of a brutal war between humanity and monstrous beasts flashed through his mind. Now, let's pick up where we left off. The Dawn Stronghold was a temporary outpost built by humanity's ancestors in the wastelands. After countless battles, Dawn City was finally established, protected by a golden barrier. The story goes that after Dawn City was founded, the old stronghold was abandoned, becoming a den for all sorts of demonic beasts and evil entities. Later, a tradition was formed, both to commemorate the achievements of the ancestors and to encourage the younger generation. Every 3 years, Dawn City holds a trial, allowing all class holders under the age of 30 to participate. This is also the biggest event in all of Dawn City. Duan Cha tells Bai Jin that, in reality, deep beneath the stronghold lies a cold spirit pool. This was the real reason the stronghold could be built there in the first place. If you can place in the top 10 of the trial, you get a chance to go inside and train. You can rapidly raise your spirit power and break through to the next rank. He looks at Bai Jin and gives him the rundown. Bai Jin. Every single class holder in Dawn City under the age of 30 can participate. But the participants aren't just C rankers. Plus, the place is crawling with danger. If you're not strong enough, it's basically a suicide mission. Then Duan Cha puts a hand on his shoulder and warns him. Bai Jin, the Dawn Stronghold trial starts in 1 week. It's best if you can fight for a top 10 spot, but don't force it if you can't. You're still young. Staying alive is the most important thing. He reassures him, Deacon Duan Cha, don't worry. Hearing this, Bai Jin gets incredibly hyped. I can't believe there's a jackpot like this tied to the Dawn Stronghold trial. There's no way I'm gonna miss out. As long as I get into the top 10 and train in the spirit pool, I can probably break through to C rank in no time. When that happens, there won't be many people in this entire city who can make me flinch. All of you pulling the strings. Just you wait. After speaking, Duan Cha takes a credit card from Xiao Nan, hands it to him, and says, "Glad you get it. This is the reward I promised you, 100,000 in cash, and 10 boxes of spirit power potions." Then he happily gives Bai Jin a golden key, saying, "Also, for your record-breaking performance, and for bringing glory to the guild, you're specially awarded the right to use the class holder community housing. This is a room for C-rank class holders. From now on, we're neighbors." But he refuses the kind offer. "I'll take the reward and the potions, but forget the room. I believe it won't be long before I take back the villa that rightfully belongs to the Bach family. I have no need to return to a place like this." Duan Cha praises Bai Jin's will. That's the spirit. Song Qian used his power to tyrannically seize your family's villa. I know about that too, but with my current authority, I still can't touch him. But Bai Jin, don't worry. The moment the guildmaster comes out of seclusion, I'll report this. I'll definitely get you justice. He thanks him happily. All right, thank you. As Bai Jin walks away, he thinks to himself, Deacon Duan Cha means well. But I heard the Warriors Guildmaster went into seclusion to make a breakthrough to become a war god. Who knows how long that will take? I can't wait that long. Besides, these are my problems to solve myself. A short while later, he's back in his district in Dawn City. In his room, Bai Jin sits on the bed and continues to absorb crystals. After finishing one, he's panting for breath. After reaching D rank, leveling up has definitely gotten a lot harder. The crystal he absorbed disintegrates into dust. A notification reads, Spirit Power Value, 756 points. Bai Jin remarks tiredly, 3 days, and hundreds of thousands of crystal stones spent, and my spirit power barely increased. After D rank, aside from spirit energy conversion, the refinement requirements are much higher. Suddenly, Xiaomu, who was near the TV, holds up a seed and calls out to him. Bai Jin remembers how it placed that seed on Luo Wei's forehead. Even though it speaks a language he can't understand, Bai Jin knows exactly what it means. There's movement? Heh. A fish finally took the bait. Bai Jin walks over, pats its head, and praises it. Nice work. I didn't expect a tree spirit to be so damn capable. He begins to change into a different set of clothes. Then, Bai Jin grabs a wooden dagger and takes Xiaomu with him. My rogue physique and some of this gear might come in handy. Once he's ready, he opens the window and leaps into the night. At the hospital, while Luo Wei lies in a coma hooked up to all sorts of machines, Song Qian invites 2 people into his hospital room. One of the 2 is the deputy chief of Dawn City's law enforcement team, Deng Heng. He looks at Luo Wei on the bed and says, "This matches the intel we just received." Luo Wei's injuries were caused by a single, devastatingly powerful blow. It really does look like it was caused by the golden tier talent, explosive spirit force. I can't believe the son of the Bach couple is such a prodigy. He's a disaster waiting to happen. Song Qian puts on a sinister and obsequious face, saying, "My lord, that Bai Jin kid is nothing but a tiny bug right now. As long as we squash him first, he'll never become a disaster. The Dawn Stronghold trial is in 4 days, and that kid will definitely participate. It's the absolute best opportunity to kill him." The man laughs and says, "Well said. In that case, I'll leave that Bai Jin brat to you. Are you confident?" The mysterious hooded figure confidently declares, "So what if Bai Jin has a golden tier talent? He's just an E-rank class holder. To me, killing that kid is as easy as crushing an ant." With that sorted, Tong Tian and Dang Heng left the hospital room. He gave one last order. La Ui is useless now, and he knows too. Many of our secrets. Kill him. Then we'll pin the cause of death on Bai Kim. Make it clean. The lead henchman obediently replied, "Yes, my lord." Just as the 2 closed the door, something shot into La Ui's head. After getting hit, he started convulsing and foaming at the mouth, screaming hopelessly, "Help me!" La Ui pointed towards the window and cried, "For help." Bai Kim, from outside, asked him, "You want to live?" La Ui stared ahead with his soulless, unfocused eyes, silently, thinking, "Am I dead? A genius knight like me, dying in a place like this? No, I refuse to accept it." Suddenly, a handsome, well-dressed young man lowered his gaze and asked La Ui, "Do you want to live?" La Ui's eyes grew even more ferocious as he started cursing. "This bastard. Is this some kind of deathbed hallucination?" Meanwhile, Bai Kim's words echoed in his ear, "Tell me what you know. If it's useful, I'll consider letting your worthless ass live." But a torrent of thoughts flooded his mind. It has to be a hallucination. He's clearly my enemy. Why would he come to save me? Besides, I was hit with Wither Devour Toxin, a rare C-grade poison. A warrior, like him, can't possibly cure it. As if reading his mind, Bai Kim calmly added, "It's just a C-grade poison. It's basically nothing." Without another word, he handed a white cloth to Tu Mok, who was chugging something, and shoved it right into its mouth before it was ready, causing it to let out a few uncomfortable squeaks. Green saliva immediately dripped out. Next, he placed the dirty cloth on the forehead of La Ui, who was lying on the bed. Done. Bai Kim immediately stood up straight, confidently stating, "Tree spirits are born with abundant life force. Even a little bit of its saliva is enough to reduce the toxicity of the Wither Devour Toxin." At that moment, La Ui, still lying motionless, suddenly blurted out, "You can cure Wither Devour Toxin? Don't bullshit me." As he raised a trembling hand, he whispered, I can talk again. Can you really cure the poison?" Seeing this, Bai Kim smirked. That took effect quickly. Looks like all those potions I fed this little tree spirit are finally paying off. It seemed La Ui hadn't spoken in so long that he couldn't stop asking questions. "You can actually cure the Wither Devour Toxin? Who the hell are you?" But all he got in return was an arrogant shutdown. From the other guy, "Save your breath. I've only temporarily suppressed the poison in your body. If you want to live, tell me everything you know." At this, La Ui's face was covered in sweat as he thought of certain people. The aura coming from Bai Kim seemed even more terrifying than Dang Heng's. No, maybe even more than times that times persons. Still in shock, he blurted out, "I'll talk. I'll tell you everything I know. Bak Kim. No, Boss Bak Kim. I'm just begging you to save my life." Viewed from outside the window, the conversation between the two began. A moment later, Bak Kim was deep in thought, touching his chin and whispering, "So, that's how it is." The twists and turns in this are way more interesting than I expected. And so, it continued, one begging to be saved, the other reassuring him while pointing a finger at his forehead. "Boss Bak Kim, please save my life. Relax. You'll still be useful in the future, so of course I'll save your pathetic life. But first," Bak Kim paused for a moment, then slowly said, word by word, "You need to be temporarily dead for a while." As the words fell, Laoi's face went deathly pale. His eyes filled with terrified despair, his face drenched in sweat. "Bak Kim, he's a demon. I was such an idiot. Why did I ever mess with someone so terrifying?" The scene shifts to a nurse pushing a cart, carrying a body wrapped in a sheet down the 5 hall, while Bak Kim watches from outside a window. I never expected the underground force controlling Dawn City to be a whole organization. Dark Star. For now, I know one of the bosses is the deputy chief of the enforcement department, a peak B rank powerhouse. Whether there are bigger bosses is still unknown. At this point, he slowly frowned and said out loud, "This isn't as simple as I thought." Unfortunately, Laoi's rank was too low for him to know the real reason behind it all. Bak Kim then showed a hint of excitement, continuing, "Interesting. I'm getting closer and closer to the truth. The day it's all revealed will be the day of my revenge." Gently touching his sharp chin, he added, "The Dawn City trial is in 4 days. I have to seize this chance and break through to C rank in one go. I just hit D rank, so my spiritual power is weak. Looks like I'll need to use a more drastic method." In the northern outskirts of Dawn City, at the Dawn City Ancient Tower, Uncle Lee chased after a young man, panting as he spoke, "Lam Long, you're the genius thief our guild has invested so much in. For this Dawn Tower trial, you have to take first place." Hearing this, Lam Long immediately turned his head to look back and replied, "Uncle Lee, I'm 100% confident about this trial. Don't forget, I was holding back when I advanced to C rank. I condensed my foundational, spiritual power into." As he raised his palm to the sky, towards countless deep pink halos of light, he continued, 49 spirit runes. With a silver tier talent and a level 7 spiritual foundation, how could I possibly fail? As he finished speaking, Uncle Lee laughed in agreement. That's right, a 7th rank foundation is already top tier, even if it's the weakest of the top tier. But it's enough to make the spirit energy in your body so powerful that ordinary professionals can hardly compare. The last time a top tier foundation appeared in Dawn City was 20 years ago, the current president of the Warriors Guild. But Lin Long couldn't seem to wait any longer, tossing back one last sentence as he shot off, "Just wait. Unless that enemy breaks through to B rank, I'll knock all his teeth out." Suddenly, something stopped him in his tracks. A brilliant blue light flared up, illuminating the entire sky in the distance. Uncle Lee quickly sized up the situation and gave a warning. "Looks like someone's fighting a beast in the mountains. At the very least, it's a C rank battle. Stay sharp." Then he ordered the speeding Lin Long, "Go check if someone needs help." When they arrived, they both stared at the wolves, lying scattered around a colossal alpha, examining the scene carefully. This is just the outermost region of the Dawn Forge. How could a pack of crimson, flame wolves, and even a wolf king that's reached C rank show up here? What's more, these wolves died fast. One-hit kills. At that moment, Lin Long suddenly spoke up. "Uncle Lee, look, that figure over there. Could he be the one who did this?" Hearing him, the old man skeptically turned his gaze in the same direction, asking quietly, "From the silhouette, he looks young. Could he also be here for the Dawn Forge trials? Is this the kind of power that turns *** betrayed trash to OP *** overnight?" After hearing that, a few beads of sweat dripped down Lin Long's face as he replied, "Uncle Lee, that's impossible, right? Even I couldn't handle a pack of crimson flame wolves this easily. Among all the young professionals under 30 in Dawn City, how could there possibly be someone stronger than me?" Then, a calm and steady reply from his companion suddenly rang out, along with a slight glare at Lin Long. "Caution is the key to a professional's long-term survival. If you always have this kind of attitude, then you're not far from death's door." Over the years, how many so-called geniuses have died because of their arrogance? After he finished, the two went back and forth for a bit more. Uncle Lee taught, "Yes, I'll be sure to remember. Good that you understand. This Dawn City is full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. You never know who might be the hidden genius of some powerful faction. Maybe even a future **SSS-Grade War God **. If you really run into someone like that, you absolutely must be careful. The scene shifts to where someone's mysterious feet are walking. A hooded figure appears, a thought running through his mind. The corpses of those crimson flame wolves are very valuable, especially the wolf kings. Too bad someone showed up suddenly, so I had to leave them behind. With that, Bai Kim slowly pulled his hood back, asking, "So, this is the ancient Dawn Forge? In a world of chaos and darkness, our ancestors fought against all odds and built this place." Duanja appeared from out of nowhere and chimed in with a bright expression. "Bai Kim, are you all right? We wanted you to come with the guild, but you refused and insisted on coming alone." Another man, applying a bandage over his eye, also spoke with his eyes closed in relief. "I was seriously worried you'd miss the trial." Bai Kim walked over and reassured the worried. "Duanza, Uncle Duanza, relax. I'm fine. I just ran into a few D-rank monsters on the way that slowed me down." He looked skeptical. "That makes sense. Based on your current strength, what ordinary D-rank monster could be a match for you? Something's not right with you, kid. It's only been a few days. But why do I feel like your aura has gotten way stronger? I even feel a faint sense of threat from you." The boy scratched his head nervously, laughing weakly as he tried to change the subject. "Uncle, Duanja, you must be mistaken. I just broke through to D rank. How could I get stronger in such a short time?" But in his heart, he knew. His spirit energy hadn't changed much. But after his full profession awakening everything else was different. These past few days, he had been constantly traveling through the wilds, fighting almost non-stop. The spirit energy circulating in his body was refined again and again, so of course, his overall strength would be on a whole new level. Then he told the man, "Deacon Duanja, let's not talk about me. If we're going to participate in the trial, we obviously need to prepare a little more. But are you sure you're okay like this?" Duanja laughed and replied, "Me? What could happen to me? I'm a man of steel. This little scratch is nothing." The moment he said, "He was fine," he cried out in pain. "Ow, no, it's not pain. My wound is just a little itchy." Bai Kim sighed. "Uncle Duanja, you're so stubborn." With that, they headed inside. Inside, an extremely bright golden light shone everywhere. Once they were in, Bai Kim asked Duanja with curiosity, "Looking out, there must be at least over 1,000 professionals, right? Aren't only professionals under 30 years old allowed to participate? Are all of them here for the trial?" The man reassured him, "Of course not." Duanza explained the rules of the ancient Dawn Forge trial, which is held once every 3 years. It's the ultimate showdown for the younger generation of professionals, and the whole nation pays attention. Many professionals who meet the conditions, even if they aren't participating, can still come to watch in person. Bai Kim let out an "Oh, so that's how it is." Then the man warned to him seriously, "Bai Kim, I have to warn you, during the trial, you must be extremely careful. This trial actually takes place in an alternate dimension formed deep within the forge, and it even has monsters of C rank and above. The moment you see trouble, no way, you need to stay alive. Don't go getting reckless." Bai Kim smirked and teased Doan Chat. Yeah, got it. Steward Doan Chat. You've already told me that like 3 or 4 times. A guy your age who still can't find a wife must be 'cause you nag way too much." Seeing his flippant attitude, the man snapped, "Listen, kid, this is a guild senior looking out for you. Don't be so ungrateful." Realizing he'd gone a bit too far, Bai Kim thanked him. "I get it. Thanks, Uncle Doan Chat." The other genius warriors overheard Bai Kim and joined in on teasing Doan Chat. "Brother Bai Kim, you totally nailed it. Steward Doan Chat is exactly like that. He drones on and on. You basically spoke for all of us." Then, one of them walked over and put a hand on his shoulder. He then assured the older man, "Steward Doan Chat, don't you worry, you've still got us, right? We'll definitely protect Bai Kim during the trial. He won't get a single scratch." Bai Kim thought happily, "Wow, these guys really look out for the guild's rookies." A moment later, they entered the main hall. As they walked, Doan Chat was startled by a voice calling out, "Well, if it isn't Doan Chat." They walked a little further and ran into 2 women who looked like mages, one with blue hair and the other with red. He cried out in surprise, "Qian Shi?" Bai Kim, however, was silently sizing her up. "This aura. She's a B-grade sorcerer." The guy who had patted his shoulder earlier explained, "That's Qian Shi, a steward from the Sorcerer's Guild, a B-grade sorcerer." She's probably leading their team for this trial. She and Steward Donchat have been rivals since they were kids. Now, she's completely surpassed him. That's why Steward Donchat always gets flustered around her. The blue-haired woman sized him up. It's been a while. Still, just a C-grader. Haven't improved at all. Guess you really are mediocre. Then, she turned her gaze to Bai Kim. So this must be the so-called genius from your Warriors Guild? The one who awakened the golden talent not long ago, right? He only awakened 3 months ago, and you're already throwing him into the trial? Are you trying to get him killed? Or has the Warriors Guild really run out of people? Donchat retorted bitterly. Bai Kim is just here for the experience. He then gestured towards the others. Besides Bai Kim, we have them. These elite geniuses from our Warriors Guild are the real main force for this trial. Just you wait. Our final ranking is going to absolutely crush your Sorcerer's Guild. With a scornful look, she shot back at Donchat. Crush our guild with this pathetic flock of yours? Furious, he shot back. That's right, she challenged him. Got the guts to make a bet on it? Donchat, desperate to prove himself, agreed instantly. You want to bet? You got it. Who's scared? She laid out the terms. If we're gonna bet, there have to be stakes. Nothing too crazy. How about a vial of B-grade mana source elixir? Hearing this, Donchat started sweating bullets. A B-grade mana source elixir? But that's... She taunted him. What? You're not chickening out, are you? Donchat took the bait. Who said I'm scared? It's just one vial of mana source elixir, right? Behind him, his guild members were cringing so hard they were speechless. With the bet set, she declared, all right then, let's wait until the trial is over to see who wins and who loses. The other members sighed in utter despair. Uncle Donchat's lost his cool again, betting against the Sorcerer's Guild. Man, he's got guts. With that, she turned and walked away with her red-haired companion, leaving Donchat dumbfounded. Why the hell did I just make a bet with that rich witch? He started wailing, my B-grade mana source elixir. That's my prized possession. My young brothers, you have to give it your all. You have to crush the Sorcerer's Guild. Just then, an announcement echoed. The Dawn Bastion trial begins now. As soon as the words were spoken, a spatial gate materialized, and everyone below began to file inside. The other side of the gate looked like a collapsed coliseum. Bai Kim looked around and wondered, so this is the alternate dimension inside the Dawn Bastion? The others immediately began heading into different chambers, but his teammates stopped to give him some advice. Bai Kim, we're heading deeper into the Bastion. You should wait out here. Don't wander too far in. If you get into trouble, use your warrior's emblem to call for help. We'll come running as fast as we can. Bai Kim thanked them. Got it. You guys go on. Good luck. But inwardly, he was ecstatic. Finally, I can move on my own. With no one else around, as everyone had entered their own chambers, Bai Kim was no exception. He stepped into a room, and as he began to explore, an E-grade monster, a bastion hound, lunged at him. But with just a light touch from Bai Kim, it disintegrated into dust. He hadn't even broken a sweat. As he walked, Bai Kim went over the rules in his head. The Dawn Bastion trial is a point accumulation system based on monster kills. F grades are worth 0 points. E grades are 1 point. D grades are 10, and C grades are 100. Thinking about the monster he just obliterated, he wasn't too thrilled. This E-grade monster was only worth a single point. Killing them is just a waste of time. I need to find some higher-level monsters, and fast. Soon, Bai Kim found himself surrounded by a horde of demonic beasts. Yet he remained perfectly calm, walking with a confident swagger as their numbers swelled. He glanced at them and remarked, holy crap, there are so many. If any normal D-grade awakener ran into this mob, they'd be in serious trouble. Fire igniting in his hands, Bai Kim took his stance, ready to strike. Come on then, I don't have time to waste on you lot. As if on command, they stampeded towards Bai Jin, wanting to tear him limb from limb. He unleashed hundreds of fiery punches at once, taking them all down directly. After a relentless assault, they were left motionless on the ground. Confident in his spells and strength, Bai Jin retracted his spiritual power. He gathered the spirit cores from the beasts he'd defeated, noting, the blood essence of these locust hounds is incredibly rich. A small amount isn't worth much, but this quantity is some damn good material for building my spiritual foundation. Can't let it go to waste. A vitality flask appeared in his hand. He explained, this spatial bag is just hideous, so bad that even a C-rank professional would switch styles immediately. Gulu, I think it's not bad, Xiao Mu mumbled, peeking out from Bai Jin's clothes. You tree, spirits have such outdated taste. You should learn a thing or two from me. The two chatted as they walked out of the palace. From a distance, an enemy was tracking their every move. He realized the person up ahead looked like Bai Jin. Well, Speak of the devil. After searching so hard, he just falls right into my lap. He moved quickly, getting his target in his sights, and thought, Bai Jin, I'm here to take your life. Don't blame me in the afterlife. You're the one who pissed off the higher-ups. It was known that he was a peak C-rank thief. Pausing, he considered his options carefully. No, I can't attack him directly. Master Deng Heng warned me to avoid an investigation from the Warriors Guild. The death needs to look natural, preferably at the claws of a monster. Taking out a vial of green poison, he grinned sinisterly. If I'm not mistaken, the path on the floor above is probably teeming with monsters. Looks like I'll have to use my B-rank Qingming illusionary agent here. It really is a bit of a waste. Slowly, he opened the vial, and a strange green smoke drifted out. This Qingming illusionary agent, once released, would rapidly spread over a massive area. It rode the air currents, seeping into every nook and cranny of the palace. Bai Jin, you should feel honored to die by such a precious potion. What a pity for the innocent souls who are about to be dragged down with you. At that moment, Bai Jin continued on to the upper floor, walking down a dark corridor. Suddenly, several lightning-fast sword strikes flew towards him. They were D-rank monsters, armored war zombies. As if they'd found fresh prey, they swarmed to attack. With just a single blast of fire, they were almost completely incinerated. Bai Jin glanced down, smirking as he assessed them. These armored war zombies are brainless, even weaker than a typical D-rank professional. That makes them easy to deal with. They kept pouring in, one after another, and he got into a fighting stance. Nice. 10 points per kill. With this many, I can rack up over 400 points. Not a waste of time at all. Not bad, not bad. With just a few basic spells, he took them all down with ease. This armor is also good material, can't let it go to waste. Bai Jin looked ahead, wondering to himself, is this a dead end? Looks like I'll have to turn back and find another way. He scanned his surroundings carefully and suddenly realized, wait, that's not right. Placing his hand on the floor, he could feel what seemed to be footprints left by previous participants. Something feels a little weird. The marks weren't just on the floor tiles. They were clearly imprinted on the nearby walls as well. Only the heels are visible. The front half is covered by the wall, which means someone went times through times here. This wall can be opened. Stroking his chin, he analyzed the situation. A hidden mechanism? Looks like there's an interesting secret inside. Bai Jin strode forward confidently. Using the perception ability of his Chaos Summoner characteristic, he looked at the walls and quickly figured out the secret was in the torches. It was a code. He connected the dots. One by one, the torches flared to life, burning fiercely. The ground around him began to tremble slowly. Just as I thought, it actually worked. He couldn't help but say aloud, "It's open." Bai Jin strode quickly inside. On the other side, 3 armored warriors stood waiting with weapons drawn. He observed them for a long moment before stepping lightly to their side. Based on his knowledge, he'd already guessed the level of these guardians. C-rank monsters, Locust warriors, and there are 3 of them. If any other trainee faced this, they'd probably be in total despair. A triumphant look crossed his face as he kicked off the battle. But for me, this is just a good warm-up. Let's see what kind of secret is worth all this mystery. He beckoned to them tauntingly. Come on, I hope you guys don't disappoint me. Provoked, they immediately formed up, arranging their ranks to face him in battle. That green, poison gas continued to creep silently, filling every corner of the palace. It seeped through the cracks in the door, as if hunting for its target, trying to kill it, as ordered. Without a moment's hesitation, the 3 armored soldiers charged forward with their spears. With one powerful move, Bai Jin shattered his opponent's weapon. He channeled his firepower, his face determined, and his gaze incredibly sharp as he threw a direct punch at them. One armored soldier was hit and sent flying. But then, spears from 2 sides lunged for Bai Jin's chest. They struck hard, piercing his heart at the same time. A large hole was torn right through his chest. I saw this coming, so I used a clone to take the hit. Before this trial, I had Zhuo Ying help me buy some skills from other professions on the black market. An E-rank thief skill, Flash Step. It was the best skill money could buy, and while the price was insane, it worked like a charm. They witnessed the real deal and were just stunned, unable to believe their eyes. Without a word, Bai Kim launched a fiery fist at his opponent, landing a direct blow. The Iron Soldier was taken down in an instant, slamming into the wall, motionless. Bai Kim paused to observe and noticed something new. A wave of revival energy was coming from the Iron Knight's armor. Could it be that a knight in this fortress can resurrect another soldier? Once again, it thrust its spear toward Bai Kim, and once again, he used a spell to cheat death. He appeared out of nowhere, giving it 0 time to react. His fire fist punched a massive hole straight through its body. The room fell silent once more. They lay defeated on the ground, motionless. But with that revival energy, they started to stir, slowly getting back on their feet. This situation was starting to get overwhelming for Bai Kim. This is too much. Without any blood essence to replenish my strength, dealing with 3 of them at once is a serious drain on me right now. A magic circle appeared on the floor, marked by the spiritual power of the 3 iron soldiers. A massive statue, representing a magic god, was slowly summoned. Bai Kim recognized it instantly. Just as I thought, he mused, a rare puppet formation. No wonder this secret room is a sealed magical barrier. Even after the last group of challengers came through, the fortress knights were still here. The puppet formation absorbs spiritual energy to quickly resurrect the puppets under its control. This is one hell of a protection array. Just as I figured, Bai Kim glanced around. It seemed this secret room was once a treasure vault in the Dawn Fortress, hence the puppet guards. But now, it's completely empty. The treasures were probably all looted by the challengers who came after. The statue began to radiate a dark, ominous aura. It roared at Bai Kim, "Get out, get out." Witnessing this bizarre scene, he was endlessly amused. Holy crap, this sculpture actually gained sentience and became the spirit of the formation. Those guys who came before were total idiots, he thought. Forget the treasures in this room. The puppet formation itself is the real prize here. This formation has been running for 1,000 years, constantly being refined by the spiritual energy of a cold, underground spring. No wonder it could awaken its own consciousness and develop a divine spirit. Everything was happening so fast. Using his past life's knowledge, he assessed, in my previous life, I built a superior grade foundation, and even that was only possible through all sorts of lucky breaks. I originally thought that by entering the cold pond of spiritual power, I could use its massive energy to rebuild my foundation and maybe even reach the same level I had in my past life. Seizing the opportunity, Bai Kim charged in to fight. But with an opportunity like this, I can definitely build a spiritual power foundation that's even stronger than my last one. But the protective barrier was too strong. It knocked him back, sealing him out. The defensive power of this light shield is immense. A normal C-rank attack would barely scratch it. The statue, channeling the power of a supreme entity, commanded, "Kill the intruder." One by one, the puppet beasts began to awaken. They started to gather, surrounding Bai Kim. But he already had a plan. Looks like this formation spirit is getting desperate. Summoning this many puppet beasts at once. This is going to be a pain. Guess I'll have to take a risk. Thief skill, flash step, combined with the origin sorcerer's spell-breaking seal. An explosive power erupted from him as he shot forward like a bullet. The protective barrier shattered into pieces. He grabbed the dark statue, ripped it right out of the magic circle, and issued a direct command. Stop. Just in the nick of time, the monster's claws froze in place. Whew, that was close. Glad my timing was perfect. Bai Kim sat down in the magic circle, preparing to harness its power. This puppet formation is now completely under my control, and now I can begin the next phase of my plan. It's time to use the blood essence I collected from those hounds earlier. A small blue orb materialized in his hand, filled with droplets of water element spiritual power. Puppet formation. Inversion. The puppet formation merged as one with the sorcerer. Reversing the formation is the best way to refine and fuse with the statue. The sorcerer statue has a 1,000-year-old spirit. By using a special spirit fusion technique to absorb it into my body, I can build an ultimate, supreme grade foundation. Even among awakened ones, there's a huge difference in power and status. F, E, and D ranks are all considered low-tier awakened, while C rank and above belong to the high tier. In Dawn City, every single person in a management position is at least C rank or higher. Breaking through from D rank to C rank is insanely difficult. First, you have to build a spiritual power foundation in your body, and the difference between foundations is exponential. 1 to 9 spiritual lines is a low-grade foundation. 16, 25, or 36 lines are mid-grade, while 49, 64, or 81 make a superior grade foundation. An improved magical art was slowly being perfected. The fusion was miraculous, but just then, a new problem arose. Right now, Bai Kim looked down at his hands, clueless that the sculptor-sorcerer had just performed a baptism of 1,000 years of hidden power on him. The power was so immense and overwhelming, his current physical body could barely handle this kind of transformation. He could very well explode from the overload. The sharp spearhead lunged at him again, a punishment for destroying the representative statue. He quickly leaped back to dodge the attack. It turned out he had completely absorbed the sculptor sorcerer into his body. With its essence dissipated, these monsters were no longer under its control, and although they couldn't be revived again, they had essentially regained their freedom. No wonder they were attacking him. Bai Kim grasped the situation, and a new strategy formed in his mind. Heh, bring it on. I'll use you guys to help temper my body, which is on the verge of collapsing. He swung his leg to counter the attack, kicking the iron-armored soldier straight into a wall as the excited beasts charged him one by one. If he showed any weakness, they would press their advantage even harder. Bai Kim just smirked at the number of beasts. Not bad. Not bad at all. Ancient Tower Knights, Bloodwing Beasts. More than 10 C-rank monsters, and dozens of D-rank ones. Finally, a little bit of pressure. He channeled his fire chi, and intense flames engulfed his entire body as he unleashed his full power.